You are listening to NUFC Talk Radio, the voice of the Toon Army. Live daily on the website, on YouTube, on DAB, and on every online radio directory. NUFC Talk, the voice of the Toon Army.
Hey.
Anyway, good evening. Welcome to NUFC Talk with myself, Gaza, the Jody Yam Yam, the Mighty Win, the Happy Clapper, and Christina Tina today. The positivity point, as I'm going to call her from now on, because it doesn't matter where we are, what happens, these guys have always got that shining light above them. Going to be an interesting one. Obviously, the weekend's events, lots to unfold this evening. But before we get into that, welcome to everybody that's across the northeast listening to us on DAB Radio. It's glad to have you with us. And like I say, if you can, at any point during the show, or at any point when we've got off the air, if you can jump onto YouTube, smash the like button for us. It certainly helps us get further as a channel to other supporters. Nice to have you guys with me tonight. I say we have no Boaky, and that's not because he's frightened. He's hiding. He's got things to do. So he ain't going to be available. It's already pre-arranged. He did say last week that he wouldn't be here Monday or Tuesday, regardless of the result. But I bet he wishes he was, because I'm sure he would have had a thing to say about War, Eddie. So, like I say, have we got over it? Are we okay, ladies and gentlemen?
Not really, I've got to say it. There was someone in the forum who put up a post from Ben, the noise, and what Ben said resonated tremendously with me. I thought he was very articulate, very eloquent, far more so than I could have been, but reflected a lot of my views, apart from the headline to his show, which was "I was wrong," because I'm still not there yet, although I am ever so near. And like I said, my goalposts have never changed. Let's get to the end of the season, and I've always said if we're within 6 points of Champions League, that'll do for me. There's still a chance for that to happen. When it doesn't, then I'm afraid the time has run out. And yesterday was one of the games when we were all expecting 3 points, and again, that word expecting 3 points, which didn't materialise. So for me, the only way those 3 points can be salvaged now is by beating Arsenal, because that's 3 points that I didn't think we were going to get. But if we beat Arsenal, that kind of makes up the points difference, and we can still do it. If we can't do it, then in the light of all of the criticisms, valid criticisms, which I've made myself and which have been made by countless other people more vehemently. Is my mic okay? All right.
It's a lot of people saying it's a bit low.
Is
That
that better?
It's Tina opening something.
Yeah, I've turned.
Sorry.
It's all right.
I've turned my mic up. I hope that's better. Yeah, but again, utter capitulation. Again, after going in front, another goal conceded in the 1990s. You know, how often is this, quote unquote, acceptable? All lessons being learned. It would appear not.
Could I ask you a quick question, Win?
Yeah.
Just in regards to the fact that you have said that your goalposts have been the same all season, and that if we end up 6 points or within 6 points of Champions League, then you're still going to be happy. After yesterday's game, and the statistics getting a little bit worse in regards to points dropped from winning positions, are you less confident of that being a realistic end to the season now, or are you still kind of where you were, if you don't mind me asking?
Not at all, no. And I'm a lot less confident. A lot less confident.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned at the start of the watch-along, didn't we, that this was going to be one of those games that those that sit on the fence, neither in or out, I suppose I'm one of them. Like I say, I support Newcastle United. It doesn't matter who's at the helm as long as they're doing well.
And anybody who thinks I don't.
I know. Everybody. I mean, just because you wear his shirt doesn't mean that you follow them.
Look at themselves. I've got it on in solidarity.
Yeah, there you go. Stephen Howe.
Chelsea shirt win.
Oh! In Eddie, the sun always shines on Eddie Howe. Talk about Eddie Howe. We've got Stephen Howe in the chat. He's asking you a question. Question for Win. He stated earlier in the season that Eddie had to go if we weren't within touching distance at Xmas of Champions League. Now we're 12th. What now?
Yeah, but at Christmas we were within touching distance. That was why, as I am widely quoted as saying after the Man United game, which was a fortnight before New Year's Eve, I said the Christmas fixtures, we got beat at Man United, and that to me meant that we couldn't possibly get to within 6 points of Champions League at Christmas. So that was when I said, I'm Eddie out now. But then all the results went in our favour. We won the next two games, and all of a sudden we were within 6 points of Champions League.
I hadn't heard that you had said that, Win. That was tongue in cheek. We've got a soundbite for that there. Sorry.
Can I just say, Stephen's been absolutely melting those keyboard. Yeah.
Chris
there you go.
Twice as sure.
Yeah, Stephen, thank you so much for jumping on board, lad. Like I say, I mean, he has again. He's answered obviously as best he could to that question, and like I say, he has always said he will be Eddie out as soon as the sun doesn't shine anymore on the lad.
As soon as it would appear right now by any metric you want to use that Eddie has taken us as far as he can.
Listen, there's a lot. I mean, a hell of a lot to decipher.
There are a lot of mitigating circumstances.
Absolutely,
as well that people do not take into consideration sufficiently, in my opinion.
But I also think he doesn't help himself at times. Win.
Correct.
And again, we talk about in-game management, like for like substitutions, no tweaking of said system. And when it's not working for you because, whatever reason, I think people always question why he goes like for like and he doesn't try and change it up a little bit. And I think that always will fall at his feet at times when it turns ugly.
Well, to be fair, Eddie answered that very question. He was asked, "Why have you not got a plan B?" And his answer to that question, he was directly asked it, and he answered it, and he said, if plan A isn't working, you make changes to try and make it work. That was his answer to that question. If you need a plan B, you've failed because your plan A didn't work.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, let's crack on because, like I say, we have got quite a bit to get through. So let's start with me opener. If you're still nursing that Derby hangover and wondering why the Toon couldn't defend a paper bag yesterday, don't worry, pet. The Geordie Yam Yam is here to ease the pain. It's like a little bit of a session, you know. Sit down in my chair, look into my eyes, around the eyes, not into the eyes. Sunderland nicked it 2-1 in the 90th minute. Brian Brobby. I always want to call him Mr. Brobby. You cheeky little scamp. Mind, at least we didn't lose to the Mackhams in the car park as well. Or did we? Grab a brew, wipe away them tears, and turn it up. We're turning heartbreak into pure Toon Talk tonight. There's another one. They might be out there celebrating like they've won the Champions League, waving their plastic flags and watching replays of 73, like it was yesterday. But we've still got St James's. We've still got the Black and White Army. And most importantly, we've got 90 minutes of banter, belly laughs and a few truths from your favourite crew. So get the kettle on, turn the volume up, and let's dive straight into the Toon therapy session, because that's what I was going to call it. This is going to be the therapy session. Anyway, let's get on with it. Obviously, we've got the mighty win, the happy clapper. We have, unfortunately, lost Boaky because I've got other plans. I was going to call him the glass half empty man. We've got Tina Trinity, they're obviously positivity points, so she's always upbeat and will always try and see the light through those dim glasses at the moment. So,
well, let's hear the light through those dim glasses, because I haven't heard Tina's take yet on yesterday's result. Tina,
I mean, I feel as though I've been wrongly built up here for this one, because I'm not sure that anything that I say is going to cushion the feeling of yesterday. I know there's large pockets of the fans who, although I personally never get involved in that debate of Eddie in, Eddie out, and never get drawn into that, I do know that there are large portions of the fans, some who were sitting on the fence before that game, who are now very vehemently Eddie out, and even some who were in the Eddie in camp before we started that game have now switched to being Eddie out. So there was a definite feeling change yesterday, which I understand a lot of people take that game very seriously. I would say maybe some too seriously. I'm not sure the violence before the game was necessary at all. Throwing bottles around when we've got, like, you know, kids and families around, probably not the best look for the region. As for the game, I mean, it's the same old problems, isn't it? We started quite confidently. I thought Gordon took his goal well, and although it is hard to look at any positives in that game, and I'll bring these out first because I'm not going to end on a positive, because I'll get absolutely destroyed by the chat. So we'll get a little bit of positive.
End on a positive, man.
Okay, then in that case, I'll go into the negatives first. The negatives are that our midfield are not suited for whatever this plan A is that Eddie Howe keeps mentioning, and it's either I'm not sure if we do have a plan A. I think we do have two different plans that we try to play. We either try to press, which we don't have the team to do anymore, or we try to hit on the counter attack, which we bought the players to do, but we do not have the defensive line to do. The second half, I mean, I don't know, what are we drinking at half time? Are we having like a bottle of rum or something? Because surely the Premier League needs to stop us from doing that. 'Cause we're having a bucket of something. I mean, it's atrocious. I mean, we came out in that second half after, and I mean, I have to give a shout out to War Flags. I mean, that flag display at the start of that game was,
yeah,
I mean,
awesome.
that was spine tingling. I mean, I had goosebumps looking at that, and I wasn't even in the stadium. So, like, you know, with all that going on, with the noise from the crowd, and then to come out with such a flat performance in the second half, and again, what I noticed from that match as well is the biggest issue for me is that we need, and we have been crying out, and I think it was one of the first things that I offered as an opinion when I joined the panel on this channel, which is that we need a central defensive midfielder, a Davids, a Deschamps, a Vieira, a Tiote, somebody who's got a good defensive mind, who can close the gaps, because the gaps that we were leaving in midfield, I mean, the goal that was scored, I mean, you know, you can have a little bit to say about Tino Livramento's part in that goal, and maybe even Dan Burn, but we should have never been in that position. The midfield are leaving gaps. I mean, I don't drive a small car, I drive a ZS. I could have slalomed my car in the gaps that our midfield were leaving in the second half of that game, and that's unacceptable. You're not going to play well against any team if you're going to be leaving gaps that big in the midfield. To try to give some sort of positivity to that, we did come very close to going 2-0 up with Sven Botman hitting the inside of the post. We also did go 2-1 up at one point, but that was unfortunately chalked off. Rightfully so, probably. But Jacob Murphy, I think, was a little bit unlucky with that. I don't think he was intentionally in an offside position. I don't think he was intentionally impeding the goalkeeper. He just happened to be stood in the wrong place at the wrong time. And how many times have we been able to say that about many players in our team this season? So yeah, that's about as close as I can get to putting any sort of positivity into what happened on Sunday.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I say, that's as close as it'll get. The first thing I want to do before I get into tonight's show is listen. It doesn't matter who you are, who you support, or what your opinion is of the panel or any of the people in the chat. But what we won't accept at door is some of the things that you're discussing in the chat now and calling names towards our mighty win. It's not fair. He certainly doesn't, doesn't deserve that. Yeah, he doesn't deserve stuff like that. So,
Don't
Mods,
look at it,
please,
look.
If you wouldn't mind, just removing said person, that would be grand. Because, like I say, we're here for everybody's opinion, but we certainly don't need verbal abuse aimed at any member of the team or anybody in the chat. Keep it friendly, please, out there in viewerland. We are always here, like I say, to give you our opinion, and we'll listen to yours. Don't need the verbal abuse with it. And, at the end of the day, I'm closer to his age than probably you are. And I don't even call him stuff like that.
You've got me intrigued now, man.
Just keep it
in regards
friendly,
to that, though,
please.
if those who do want their opinion read out by Gary or any of us, if you do put a Q in front of your chat, it usually stands out a little bit more. And if you do send a super chat, you're guaranteed to get read out. So that would be a way to express your opinion. Obviously, do please keep it, civil. But if you do want to get your point across in this show, this is the NUFC talk. This is the voice of the Toon Army. We are here.
This
for
is
your
the voice for all the
well.
fans.
Right.
Yeah, this is what it's all about. It's
and-
about the fans. Everybody's got an opinion, but we don't need abuse. We certainly don't need abuse. Half time at the Mackems, like I say, Newcastle were leading 1-0. And this come up on the screen, and I thought, oh, there you go. Thanks for reminding me that Newcastle have obviously thrown away 19 points from winning positions. Then I noticed underneath that Sunderland were obviously joint second with Bournemouth from points gained when losing. And I don't know why I took a snapshot of it, if I'm honest with you, because I don't always do things like that. I go off, as you guys are aware, for a drink because I get really dry in the throat after doing the commentary. Sometimes don't come up for air for a long time. That's why my missus loves me. Anyway, so what I want to say is, Newcastle have now thrown 22 points away. With those 22 points, we would have been second, vying for the Premier League. What a difference that would have made and sounded over the airwaves. I must admit, totally different mentality, totally different attitude. And obviously, the Mackems only scored 8 goals away from home all season. So the cards were heavily stacked against them. So what I wanted to ask you guys is, we talk about Eddie Howe's flaws. We also talk about Eddie Howe's, what he does right at times. What happens at half time? Because we saw it with Barcelona. We saw it with the Mackems. What is it about that half time talk, that get together, that leadership group? What's being said to make the team come out and play totally different mindset? Is there anything that you can point a finger at to tell me what has gone on at half time? Because it looks like 2 totally different teams to me.
Well, we discussed that, did we not, at Barcelona?
Yeah.
Both home and away. And I said on both occasions, more or less, that if I was Eddie, I would have a very easy half-time talk. Just in the case of the game at St. James's against Barcelona, go out and do the same. And in the second game, go out and do the same, but don't make those stupid mistakes. And it would have been pretty much that yesterday. Because in umpteen games this season, now you've already referred to how many points we've thrown away from leading positions. In umpteen games, we've taken the lead and then sat back, and I have defended Eddie, saying he cannot possibly be telling them to do this. He knows it doesn't work. We've seen it doesn't work. He cannot be telling them to do it. And it would appear, witnessing yesterday's game yet again, because that's what happened.
Yeah.
We took the lead, and then all of a sudden, if you look at the momentum map for the match, all of a sudden, the only momentum Sunderland had was for like the 8 or 9 minutes after we scored. And then we sort of got on the front foot again, and we were dominant towards the end of the half. But then when we came out the second half, it was one-way traffic. So, in answer to that question, what's been said, I've got no idea. But unless they all have, like I said before, unless they all have a cup of Ovaltine or something.
They certainly aren't getting their oranges.
Ovaltine, maybe.
Yeah, probably. What's your thoughts, Christina?
I mean, there's before I get on my thoughts, there's actually a good comment in the chat from people Vendetta 111 who says that the issue at half time is always the same, that we are knackered and we're trying to slow the game down. It's the fact that Eddie's tactics are pace and then fatigue sets in, and we can't manage it for 90 minutes. And I think that is something that did show yesterday. I think Lewis Hall in particular, quite near the start of the game, when he had chased the ball, I mean, he just lay there with his hands on his head for a moment. Like, he looked genuinely spent. I think there is and it's weird because people say that way with like Fitness FC or Athlete FC, and the team just looked knackered by the time they come out for that second half. I can't understand what could be being said. I mean, you can't surely demotivate a team at half time if you've managed to get them up for the first half. I mean, you're not going to... I mean, potentially, he's saying something like, okay, you all look knackered, let's go out there and let's just try to slow the pace down at the start of the second half, because we do concede a lot of goals right after the break. But it's really puzzling. Like, even I'm sat here, like, when I was watching the game yesterday, I was like... The first thought that I had is why, for the first 20 to 35 minutes... of most games, do we come out looking like the best team on the planet, and then for the rest of the game we look like a team that should be 19th in the Premier League, if even that? Those two things don't compute in my head, how you can be so good at the start of so many games, and then by the middle to end of that game we've got everybody, screaming for the manager to be sacked, screaming for players to be sent on their way. Like, there's evidently something in those second halves, and it might just come down to the fatigue. I know that the management have used that, and I think some people have seen it as an excuse. I know there are large pockets of fans who are very fed up of hearing that we're fatigued, but we don't have a massive squad. We do have a lot of players who have been injured off and on throughout the season. Botman's back in the garage yet again after yesterday's
for surgery yet again, apparently.
Yet again, yeah, facial surgery he's already had, apparently. With a facial
what's
fracture.
he just like had a nose job or something?
No, I think it was a cheek. I think he's and to be fair, if
I was
it's
thinking about
close
getting
to
my
the
cheeks done, to be fair.
close to the eye socket, it's quite dangerous. Hence, they usually screw and plate it. So he's going to be potentially out for the rest of the season, or he may be back for the last couple of games. I'm just going to
take over here now, because I finally found, well, at least one of Anto's comment. Where were you after the game win, you a-hole? Well, I'll tell you exactly where I was after the game.
Valleys.
And so it goes on, and I was recording that because for the first time ever, there was almost unanimous booing around the ground, and I wanted to bring that to all our viewers and listeners because there was spasmodic booing after the whichever game it was, I can't remember now, might have been the Brentford game. But here, when they were walking round here,
For anybody listening on DAB, we do apologise if you did hear any bad language during that, but that was a video clip from the Newcastle match from Sunday after the game. That was
live after the match from my seat. So that's where I was and door recording that.
Yeah, you could definitely hear it post-match. The noise changed dramatically when the team was going round. And I must admit,
I tell you what, it begs the question, why do it? What was...
Why do what?
Why? No. Listen, anybody's entitled to boo, especially after that sort of performance. Right. I personally don't, but if you want to, I've had it. However, what was the... And to be fair to Eddie, he was up front and centre, leading the way. So he wasn't ducking out of it. He was saying, come on, face the music, more or less. But whether it did any good at all, I doubt. And I think these, they were great when they were victory laps. But now, more and more, as they aren't becoming victory laps, I think that they could be turning counterproductive. What do you think?
I think just before, because Gary's going to read that super chat in just a second, but if I can just quickly answer that before the point's lost. I actually think, I'm not saying I think, I just want to know if you think. Do you think maybe walking around the ground after that match and hearing the raw emotion, hearing what that does mean to a large portion of the fans might have actually been good? I mean, I know that it's never good to get booed at, but maybe when you've walked around and you've had all of the applause and you've had the cheers and you've had the entire city go to the centre of town to watch your bus go past when you've won a trophy, and you feel that adulation and you feel that energy and you feel that excitement, maybe it is good to realise that, okay, we are happy when you're doing this, we're happy when you're trying, we're happy when you're performing, but when you're going to go down 2-1 to people who a large section of that crowd see as local rivals with a hard capital R on there, then this is what that feels like. This is what we want you to feel. This is our emotions at this time. Do you think there could possibly be a positive to look at for doing that lap based on that?
I think, for me, you're absolutely right. It has to swing both ways. And, there's a lot of people in the chat saying, oh, it's too one-sided. We haven't got anybody, because obviously I'm Mr., peacekeeper, if you like. But listen, I don't think you can ever have it one way. I mean, the lads have been away from home most of this season and performed poorly. And the away followers have always stood their ground and applauded them for an effort that they have given. I think that was, for me, there was a lot of emotion in that game yesterday. And you saw it before the game with a lot of the crowd disturbances. Obviously, we saw the club officials' security being called during the match where Mr. Taylor stopped to say that there was some racial discrimination going on, aimed towards one of their players. Things like that, like I say, it's all done in the heat of the moment, and we understand that there's a lot of emotions. So yes, I think it could be a good thing because it's like this international break now. I think this has probably come at the best time for Newcastle.
Perfect timing.
Eddie Howe will probably say differ. He'll probably want the next match tomorrow to try and put that right, to try and get us back on the front foot. But I think the lads just need to go away, readdress, have some time to think about where they want to be. It looks to me, I'll be honest with you, there's a few players wearing a black and white shirt that don't actually want to wear it. Couple of points I want to take, Steve. Thanks, Strasbourg. Steve, as a coach, if you're not correcting it,
in case you'd forgot
you're allowing it. Ever since the AC Milan loss, when we were gung-ho and lost, how most of the time tells them to be conservative when we take the lead. Now, we've heard, there's a couple of points, because Steve hits the nail on the head for me there. I've said Eddie Howe has left some of our game plan in the locker room, and I've mentioned it for the majority of this season. You can see it. It's not hard not to see. When you've got a thin squad and you're trying to spread yourself across all of the cups and, the league, something has to give. And unfortunately, what seems to have been most obvious is its league form that's been a gimme this season especially. And we haven't really hit the high notes at all in the Premier League. We've done well in the cups. I mean, I know people will say, we've lost semi-final, to Man City, who went on to win the thing. So to me, I was rooting for them yesterday, to be fair. Well done, Martin. I hope you had a good day. But this is a massive thing for me. I'm going to put up on the screen now. This is a killer for me. 22 points dropped in the season hurts. But 26 goals conceded after the 85th minute. That's the difference. That's fatigue. That's where lads... And when I say fatigue, as in, we all get fatigued, me especially, with my fibromyalgia. What usually happens is the mental state. That's where the concentration, we always take the Michael out of Ramsdale, saying that he sometimes loses concentration during 90 minutes of a game. It looks like half of your defence has done the same, mate, if I'm honest with you, because it was criminal defending yesterday. Now, Newcastle this season, out of all the seasons that Eddie Howe has been at the Mantra, have top of the league on negativity. The negative points, if you like, most points lost, most goals conceded in the last 15 minutes of a match. All of it stems down to poor defence, right? Now, you guys are we know you swing more on the happier side of life than the bad side of life. Name me one game, please, where you've been absolutely spot on with our defence.
Chelsea.
Our defence.
How many clean sheets have we had? An interesting, when I did the Tino Hall spreadsheet, 5 out of our 7 clean sheets have been achieved when Tino and Hall have both started. They could have both started yesterday.
I'd have said Tino was partly to blame for that second goal, to be fair. He didn't follow his man. If the player that you're marking has not only gets ahead of you but has a shot, but then has time to have a second shot, you've got to stop and ask yourself a couple of questions. Speed of questions, there is
and the same applies to Ramsey, by the way, for the first goal.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's just
because Ramsey was on Torby and was nowhere to be seen when he got the rebound.
No, absolutely.
And by the way, another 2 great saves by Ramsdale.
Oh, yeah.
He's doing his bit.
Yeah,
seven goals shipped against Barcelona, and there wasn't one of them you could nail down to him.
Can you guys remember the interview that Eddie Howe, I can't remember whether it was a presser or whether it was just a television interview. That goes by my side, if I'm honest with you. But I distinctly remember Eddie Howe saying about, and it was more or less the keeper. He was asked about whether Ramsdale was going to get... It's when Pope was virtually between the sticks all of the time. And he was questioned about Ramsdale. And I'm sure, and again, I'm not going to go word for word, but there was something like, I like continuity. I don't like to change my keeper as much as as I need, unless there's an issue with the keeper that's in goal at the time. Same as my defence, right? I don't like to interchange my defenders unless there's a need. So you both mentioned Chelsea as the go-to game. There was your back four. Absolutely solid. And if you look just in front of them, we didn't really have much of sixes. We had Ramsey and we had Willock. Both of them, you would probably say, apart from Ramsey as your six, Willock very much offensive. You know, what can you say? But the defence itself on the day, very gung-ho, very structural. Everybody did a job for the whole 90 minutes. And if you look at momentum swung completely Chelsea's way during that game. Now, on Eddie Howe's words, we then travel to Barcelona. And during that match, let me just put it up on the screen, if I may, because like I say, I am trying to do half a dozen jobs here.
Well, basically, you're going to say he puts Trippier and Burn in, and he had the same Trippier and Burn in against...
Well, against Barcelona, if you remember, I'm going to have a quick look just to make sure that I am not wrong with this one. So, what he does, he brings Trippier in, and you're right, he puts Dan Burn in. And then if you look from Trippier, right, it was, believe it or not, the man of the match in the defence against Barcelona. Chow, Burn and Hall. So he's made two changes from that fantastic display that he had against Chelsea. So Tino goes out, and you could say that's potentially fatigue. But obviously he brings Burn in. Now, again, you think, Geordie, big game, he's going to be the big man for the game. Now, when you're looking and stating that you are playing continuity football, you don't like to make changes in goal. You certainly don't want to make changes in defence when it's all going right. Then all of a sudden we come up against the Mackhams. Yeah, go on, mate.
Just Strasbourg's back, Steve. Oh, boy, what's that now? 2 seconds. Because I'm saying I'm saying Ramsdale, not to blame. And Steve is disagreeing with me, saying Ramsdale was at fault for both goals. First one was a dreadful punch. Player shoots, falls to Talby, he scores. Well, it was Talby that shot, by the way. Second goal, he watches the cross go to Mr. Blobby.
I mean, I don't think there was anything he can do for Brobby's goal, if I'm honest with you. I mean, I've got a picture in a minute that I'll bring up that show you exactly where the problem was, if I'm honest with you. But again, we go to the Mackham game, and you've got Cherrod now that's come out of the game, and we've brought Botman into right centre-back with, the same lineup, if you like, with Trips and Hall. So, again, we talk about continuity. There's 3 matches that we've had back-to-back, and we've had 3 different players within that back 4 line. So we've gone from excellent to 2 games of complete dire. So for me, continuity ain't there, because you're like I say, we talk about fatigue, but when you're setting up a team to play a certain system, to play a certain way, and fight for your lives, yeah, I understand the Geordie side of it. But when you've got a team that's performed against Chelsea, who are flying high in the Premier League, at the time, they were very hard at Stamford Bridge. We literally, I mean, to be fair, they were just playing in front of us. They hadn't got a clue how to break us down. I can understand the Barcelona game. They're a different animal. But against the Mackhams, that haven't really been good on the road themselves, only 8 goals scored all season before the 2 they got against us, you've got to question that.
Yeah. Got a question.
I kind of assumed when he played Tripman and Tripman, when he played Trip, I don't know where I got Tripman from. When he played Trippier even, and Burn against Barcelona, I assumed that this was because they had had a surprisingly good game against Barcelona in the first game. It was a big game that needed cooler heads. Trippier's got a lot of experience against Barcelona, but then the idea was going to be to go back to the same back four we'd had against Chelsea in the game against Sunderland. I was really, really surprised to see Trippier starting that game. And I mean, I know that he's like, he's got a lot of experience. He's one of the hierarchy at the club, but realistically, outside of one, maybe two games that he's played really well for us, Tino Livramento's probably been the better right back for us, even in the short amount of games that he's played comparatively to Trippier this season. I mean, you could even argue that Miley has put in a couple of performances at right back better than Trippier has this season. But Burn, I mean, there was a couple of shots that Sunderland got, and I love Dan Burn. I think he's a fantastic player, especially at centre back. I don't necessarily rate him in left back, but there was a couple of shots that I saw, and one of them, Dan Burn had kind of almost tried to put a tackle in before the player had started even swinging his foot. The ball was then beyond Burn's left foot that he had already lunged with. There was no way that Dan Burn was recovering from that to then again further put a tackle in or further block any sort of shot. And the Sunderland player then got a shot. I apologise for saying Sunderland player. I cannot remember the name of the player who took the shot. But that player's then had a right-footed shot.
They've got 41 players. No one knows. They've got 41 players. No one knows.
I mean, fair play. I
Probably not appropriate today.
No, exactly. Yeah.
Mind
the gap. What gap is your? That's the thing.
But yeah,
listen, let's just hit on that. Yeah, thanks. What's that?
Tina and her sultry resting face.
Sultry?
Sultry resting face?
Hey, what about my sultry resting face?
Yeah, let's be nice to Gary's resting face.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look at that. I have to take my bra off to pull the lines out of my face these days. Anyway, can I just say, right, talk about defending, right? Now, Strasbourg Steve has just said he should have saved this one. Well, he saved the first one. So, how can two players, we talk about Talby with his 6-yarder, 4-yarder, and this one's probably 3 yards. And you've got Dan Burn in front and Tino behind. How can you play?
Tino stood still behind, by the way, for a full 30 seconds.
Can I just say that the point come before this, right? Because I always say, when you watch a defender, a good defender, right? A good defender will always know where the forward is. Always, right? Because you have, it's what we always used to say, the three-quarter head. Yeah, so your body doesn't get closed. Tino's closed, right? Brobby's behind him, right? He can't see where he is. And all he does is gamble that, is it Lefay who passed the ball in, I think it was, right at the end. Lefay comes to the touchline, just past Dan Burn there, you can't see him in the picture, and he puts the ball through Dan Burn's legs, literally into the 6-yard box. Tino hadn't got time to react because he hadn't seen him. Brobby's run from behind him into that 4-yard space. Like I say, he gets the first shot at goal, which I thought come off Tino, if I'm honest with you, the first one, because the way the camera angle was. And then it gets straight back deflected from Ramsdale into Brobby's feet again. Again, Tino literally stood still. If these were 80 million quid, I'd take it tomorrow. I'd even find a taxi for him. I have never seen Sunday League defence like this. And if Manchester City see the light today with this lad, see you later, mate. Because I ain't seen it. I've never seen it. I know everybody else will say and shoot me down. This lad's great at progressing the ball. He ain't a great defender. And that to me is like that was criminal defending for me. When you close your body off to a player who's behind you, you're not supporting the team whatsoever. So has his head now gone to Manchester City or Manchester United or Arsenal or Chelsea? All of the big guns names that seem to be interested in this lad. Because since his return, he's had one decent game for us. And that was against Chelsea. He hasn't been the best. It was a fantastically
decent game, to be fair. But yeah,
he hasn't been the best since then. Hey, here he is, up by the ears. Something like this. Mr. Boaky!
He's
How
all
you
right,
doing,
guys.
How you
I
doing?
didn't even see Boaky come in.
You're very clinical, Mr.
I'm
Boaky.
all right. I haven't got any of the bells and whistles tonight, so can you hear us all right and everything?
Yeah, you're good,
Yeah,
man. You're
yeah.
good. You're very
Yeah,
good.
Are you in jail, Boaky? Like literal
Yes.
jail?
Yeah,
Is that where you?
Worse, I'm
is
at
that-
work.
All right.
I
Bless
can't
you.
sit and listen to all this happy clapping all night. I've come
Well-
on my lunch.
Fair play. Fair
What
play.
happy clapping have you heard tonight?
You guys, what's the major issue with that game? We lost against the Mackhams, man. Let's not skirt around the issues. Let's not, try to paint out pictures about this player or that player. We lost against the Mackhams, and our manager couldn't give two hoots after the game.
I don't know about that. I mean, to be fair, I have got
He came
a
out and
couple of
says that
issues.
we don't care as much as the fans.
Well, but don't forget, it's the fans that have been there for life. He's only been here for 4 years, mate. There's a bit of a difference in that speech, if I'm honest with you. I'm not going to take that.
If he doesn't get work, then go. If he doesn't get the Geordie Nation, how much this club means to the them fans, then it's gone for him. It's
you could hear it, mate.
gone.
Yeah, you could hear it after the game. It had gone.
Yeah.
It had gone like half the stadium had gone, mate, to be fair. I don't know whether...
Skirting around the points all night, let's get down to it. Does he go now or does he go in the summer? What's the best point for him to go?
Well, I mean, like I said, if they're thinking about it, you know it's time. You know, if the statements come out from the DOF, CEO, PIF, are all going to look at the rest of the games. There's 7 games that are left to see where he finishes and make a decision from there. And I think that's like it's like Russian roulette, mate. You know, you put one bullet in the chamber, you just roll the revolve around a little bit and see what bullet comes out. I don't think that's good because that just puts up more pressure on the lads. So for me, if they're thinking about it, just do it.
This whole premise that we were going to go on this massive run that was going to get into Europe is just being false. There's no chance of it happening now. We're not getting into Europe this season. He has failed completely this season. This is a failure of a season. Do you see what I was saying last week now?
So there's a super chat from Wazza which says, "Wow, Boaky actually looks cool. He's in a freezer. Are you in a freezer?"
Yeah,
I'm in an office with very white walls, believe it or not.
Yeah, it's very sterile.
We can
That's
see.
the word. Yeah, it's very sterile.
But in regards to that question, though, like not the failure one, because obviously, like I said, I don't really have an answer for that. In regards to is it time for Eddie to go now, or is he going at the end of the season? I think if the owners, which let's be fair, the owners have got a lot bigger things going on at the moment than who's managing Newcastle United. But if like the CEO and the director of football were thinking about replacing Eddie Howe at the end of the season, there's almost an argument to say you'd be just as well off doing it now at the start of an international break than you would be giving Eddie until the end of the season. If you're giving Eddie until the end of the season, you might as well then give him another run, because we're no longer in the cup competitions that I said you can't. Because my argument was always you cannot sack a manager when we're still in cup competitions that manager got us into. That would have been a ridiculous thing to have done. But now we're out of those cup competitions. Is there still a chance that we can push for Europe? I mean, that's looking quite unlikely. So I would say, and again, I mean, I'm never going to be part of the Eddie in, Eddie out debate. I'm never going to be the type of person who asks for a manager to leave. But if they are thinking about it, then surely now is as good as time as any. I would think the only thing that would stop them doing it now is a lot of people have mentioned that maybe in the summer there'll be a great pool of managers to pick from. But I would disagree on that.
I did see one suggestion in the forum, which wasn't altogether balmy.
Was it
which
me?
Which was, I don't know. Can't remember who.
No, I mean, was I the choice as manager? Because that's what I was about to say. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Go on.
You were not the choice of manager. No, the choice of manager was actually Maresca.
See, that's actually where I was going to come on now.
Winner of the World Super Cup, Super Club, whatever it is.
FIFA
Club.
That's probably not much bigger than the Carabao Cup, to be fair.
So we're all agreeing now that Eddie's time's done. You cannot
not
lose two.
necessarily.
You cannot lose two derbies in a season. You cannot be in this situation that we're now 12th in the Premier League, guys. 12th.
At risk of the
You know,
risk
come on.
of
Is
no.
this not just? Is not exactly what we're saying? Complete failure.
No, that's not what we're saying at all yet.
I think. Let's put this one up. Boaky has been spotted all season. It's gone. Piff needs to grow some what's-its and end his nightmare, otherwise it's only going to get worse. That's what I said. If they're thinking about it now for the summer, I don't see any reason why they couldn't just say, listen, we'll give you the rest of the season with a new man at the helm and see what happens. Get used to them. Get a feel.
Guys, let's not call Eddie out completely. You've got to say he's done a great job and he got with the cup and he's got with Champions League. It's just the job's got too big for him. There's nothing wrong with that. It happens in all industry. You know, if you progress to a bigger stage, you get a bigger manager in. You know, but
let's talk about some of the players.
The manager that's got you to that stage.
Let's talk about some of the players, because the one thing, obviously, Eddie has to do, right, is face the media post-match. And he did. And he mentioned, you know, he feels sorry for the fans. He knows what it means to them and all that. But what happened to that leadership group? Connor has just thrown a question at me. No player fronted up for post-match presser. Was a disgrace. Even Burn and Trips, the so-called leaders of the group, didn't step up and say a piece. What's your thoughts on that then, guys?
Burn is a Geordie, should know.
Go on, Tina.
There has been a gifted membership sent from Prozac M59, which
Prozac.
This is why I don't read the super chats, people.
And it's Monkey
Sputum. Love it. Welcome on board. Thank you ever so much to Prozac. Prozac. That'll be it now. You'll be Prozac forevermore.
Sorry.
Yeah, Prozac.
This is why they don't trust me to read things like that.
There's been so many rumours and things after the match that if there'd been a couple of players allowed to come out, because I'm guessing that's the issue, is that the club have decided not to put players up to face the press. So if there'd been a few players allowed to face it, you know, they probably could have, well, not they could not, but they could have sort of at least put like some sort of shine on it. The one person who came out after the match, all he did was prove that he doesn't get Newcastle United. He doesn't understand the fans. Coming out and saying it meant a lot more to them than me, of us, is terrible. That just proves 100%. And when you cannot turn around now and say that stadium hadn't gone against them. When it got to half time, when the lead, it was still a little bit toxic. As soon as we started losing, it got to the 90th minute, and I was out there because I just thought this is going to go absolutely mental in town. You know, the fans have turned on them 100%.
When did you join this? When did you start watching us?
Me?
Tonight?
I can't possibly say that I've been watching you all night.
Oh, all right. Did you?
No, he can't. Just in case somebody's watching.
Did you say
literally just tuned in now?
Yeah.
My ears are bleeding. Yeah, we'll stop that because my ears are bleeding.
That was me live in the stadium, Boaky.
No, but I'm saying what did you say the other week?
So I'm fully
you
aware.
talk about fans in the stadium. What did you say? You said when the fans turn, that's when Eddie goes. The fans have turned. Listen to that.
I think the Sunderland games are difficult one.
That's when the hierarchy will start to take notice. And they will be taking notice.
Like I said, it's funny. Straight after that game, it's the first time Piff, the CEO, have been mentioned about Eddie's tenure realistically, without any. I mean, there's been talks mainly from the journos, but this seemed quite inevitable. You could see David Hopkinson's face in the stand. You could see a couple of, obviously, the chair, not there, but there was a number of directors in the stadium that weren't happy So I'm sure there was a conversation. But while we're on this note, right? I want to just go on to the players just for a second, because I'm looking at the time and time is disappearing quickly tonight, as I always thought it would be. For me, the one thing that really crippled me, right, was the fact that 85th minute, Eddie Howe asked Wissa to get changed. Wissa's body language, you could see, not interested. I don't want to be here. That's the type of situation. The cameras was on him, and we were commentating, and I said, Wissa's head isn't in this game. What is the point? Then Eddie has the audacity, waiting, pulls him back from the line when he's ready to get onto the field, to talk tactics in the 87th minute, right?
With an iPad.
Well, yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter what you're using. You've had 85 minutes to tell the lads what you want from them. Why spend another 90 seconds explaining something? He's got to be on the field of play. We didn't look like scoring for those last 45 minutes. Why try and explain something to him now?
Can I just say, you're saying Wissa did not want to be on the pitch. His first involvement on the pitch was magnificent. Chasing back 40 yards and tackling a Sunderland player in our half. That was... to me,
when did we pay £55 million for him to do that?
No, we didn't. But that's not the point.
Did he go to the other side and get with the equaliser?
We're talking here about commitment.
No, we're talking about players that we've signed in the summer that have been an absolute disaster.
You've got to
get it now that you've got to get it now that these players aren't good enough. The players that Eddie Howe and Neander's signed aren't good enough.
Is that really fair to say about Wissa though? Like Wissa hasn't really had much of a chance to play for us.
No, the point I was trying to get to.
December. He's been fit since December. We're now in the middle of March. Surely he should be able to play football by now.
The point I was trying to get to, I'm going to keep saying it. The point I was trying to get to was the fact that Wissa, right? The bell literally, I say the bell. Anybody think I was at school? The whistle went. The lads done the lap of honour, goes into the tunnel, and literally within minutes, Wissa's sending likes to Mr. Brobbery, who's got man of the match. And you think about, you talk about just before about players not wanting to come out into the presser because maybe they've been told not to keep it calm, just to keep their heads low. When you've got Sean Neve, who was on the bench, and Wissa sending likes to the man of the match on the Mackham side, just gives you a bit of a taste of, hold on lads, surely the people in the background, the pressers, should have been saying to the lads, just keep it quiet today, because there's going to be a lot of emotion. There's a lot of people in those stands that aren't happy with your performance. The last thing you want is to fuel the fire even more.
Exactly, Gary. In regards to that, it's exactly that. The team, obviously, parts of that team that Eddie's built up don't get where, and parts of that, and Eddie doesn't get where. He doesn't get how big the Sunderland game is. He doesn't get, and this is no offence to him because he's not from the area, but he doesn't get in his own head that this is the biggest game. They're the Mackhams. We should, even if we're lost against them, in worst case, if we're lost, you go out and you try and you put 100% in, and you come off that pitch, in blood, sweat and tears. I don't think there's any player that can say they did, and I don't think the manager can say he did. He wasn't on the sideline going absolutely nuts. Could you imagine a Geordie manager like that? Imagine Robson or a Keegan on the sideline, and a team's putting that in that type of game against our local rivals. There is absolutely no chance they would have just been starting there the way he was, just, lacklustre.
The problem there, though, Boaky, is because obviously you've been asking for Eddie to be replaced for a long time. So if we're looking at that metric of the fact that he doesn't understand the importance to a lot of the fans of that particular fixture, are there any managers out there now who would understand that? I mean, I could potentially see an argument that Jose Mourinho would, because he's a bit of a fighter anyway. He's probably going to feel that way about most games. But if you're talking about like bringing in like Alonso or Maresca, are there any managers who would necessarily understand that game any better than Eddie Howe does himself?
Yes, because it's Eddie Howe's personality, that's the problem. And this isn't getting at the guy, and I'm not going at him personally, but it's not his personality to be, sort of passionate or to be...
Demonstrative.
Exactly.
Ooh,
He's very, very in his own
Give
shell.
us 5 minutes
And
while I look that word up.
That's the problem with him, is he hasn't got that passion about him. He hasn't got that little bit of flair. And that's maybe what makes elite managers that little bit different. He doesn't have an arrogance about him.
Yeah,
He doesn't have an
he's very
arrogance
stubborn.
about him.
That's absolutely right. He has no arrogance about him.
But that's what you need to be a top-class manager. You need to have that little bit of arrogance, that little bit. I'm the best here.
I mean, none of us know what happens.
By that
in the
metric,
dressing
we've
room
got
at
to bring in
halftime.
Jose Mourinho then, surely. he's the one for the ego.
Yeah, so
Makes
here's
me
the next one
humble.
then. Right, we're talking about players now. This is what I want to focus on today, because it's the players that win and lose games, remember. Manager sets the systems. It's the players that go out there and do it. Italian coach Gattuso has confirmed Sandro Tonali has trained today and likely to start on Thursday, but he was unfit to play yesterday.
There's a super chat from was it there, which I'll just say, which is
Boaky's
that
in heaven
Boaky's
because his team won yesterday.
I knew the words in this one. I was going to get them right.
What was that? Do you know what? I am probably the most devastated man in the world today. I was devastated yesterday. I couldn't get my head around it. As I said some things I shouldn't have said. It was just, it's absolutely devastating. And coming on here the night and hearing some guys trying to justify, some bad people even trying to blame their own fans for not getting behind the team. Did they see the display at the start of the game?
Well,
Did they hear the atmosphere in that ground? Them fans should hang their head in shame, because every Newcastle fan was up for that game. The one person and the one people that weren't, where the team weren't, and the manager hadn't got them up for it.
Right, and that stadium was absolutely up for the game, fired up from the kickoff until Sunderland equalised, and then it disappeared completely. Because I was having arguments with the people around me to get going, and it was flogging a dead horse.
To be fair, though,
because people had realised what had happened before.
That's when a super crowd, which we like to think we are, that's when they come to the fore.
So are you actually sitting here tonight calling the fans out? You're actually going to do that?
I am. In terms of what happened.
That's terrible.
What happened? I'm telling you what I witnessed.
400 hours spent by War Flags painting that game. Getting the flags ready for the game. Every fan in that ground, completely
brilliant.
Behind the team, even after the disgrace of the Barcelona loss. Everybody was up for the game. The one person who cocked it up and absolutely threw under the bus was Eddie Howe, and some of them players who just didn't try. Do not come out and blame the fans for this. That is the lowest of the low, trying to go down that route.
Oh, what I'm saying is the fans did themselves no justice at all after Sunderland equalised, because then it disappeared completely. And that is when your 12th man should come to the fore, and it didn't.
When them fans have seen this, I can't swear, them fans have seen this all season. They are at a point now where it's, as you say, they've turned and they're not putting up with it.
Absolutely.
Do not sit here and call the fans out. Whose fault was it that there's no in-game management? Whose fault is it that we've got players that were better players that he isn't playing? It's down to the manager and it's down to them players, not the fans.
I do think
it's absolutely down to the players and the manager. I'm not disputing that for a second.
So why are you calling out the fans?
I'm not calling out the fans. I'm simply saying that they disappeared after they equalised.
They didn't.
Gary.
They got annoyed and they got upset because they've seen this all season. You cannot sit here and call the fans. I'll let you sit here and I'll let you sit here and call me personally, or let you call anybody else. But don't call them fans out. Do not do it.
By and large, stopped supporting the team.
No
Stopped the
fan of
vocal
Newcastle
backing.
United ever stopped supporting the team against Sunderland.
The vocal,
No
the
fan.
vocal backing went. All you could hear
think
was the Sunderland fans, and you couldn't hear them until that point. You couldn't hear them in the stadium.
That's what I'm saying.
Do you know what's called
But
out
don't
our
forget,
fans
they
is
scored in the
terrible.
90th minute.
Clip this.
No, I'm
one,
talking about
because
the
calling out
equaliser
our fans is
in the
absolutely
55th
Oh, the
minute.
equaliser. All right. Okay.
I'm talking about the
Well-
equaliser in the 55th minute,
To be
and
fair
there was
to
still a
those-
half to go.
to be fair to the fans, Win, and it's very, very rare that I'm backing up anything that Boaky's saying. So this is how big I feel like you maybe missing something on by saying the fans stopped. I mean, how many times this season, as we were saying earlier on, 22 points dropped from winning positions, and there was a lot of people who I've seen in our forum and commenting on some of the shows after the match that people were saying, are we even surprised, or we saw it coming, or we knew the team was going to go out there and battle in the second half. I think a lot of the performances not every performance, because there has been some good performances this season, but there is now a growing majority of performances
Too many.
where fans by the end of the game have felt very let down, and I think it's difficult
Correct.
it's difficult to not understand why fans would feel devastated into potentially becoming quite silent when we've conceded that goal to Robbie in like the last few minutes of the game, when fans, as we say, kind of saw it coming. There was gaping holes in midfield in that second half, and the fans, to be fair, this season have stood by that team 100%. They cheered for Alanga when he needed picked up. They cheered and raised the tifo for Eddie after the games when he's needed picked up. I think the fans have put as much effort in this season as a lot of the players have, and I think it's fair that at the end of that game, the fans were feeling a little bit of fatigue, so I definitely wouldn't have anything to say wrong about any. The only fans I would say anything wrong against is the ones who may have been hurling the racist abuse. Except for that, everybody else in that stadium, I think, I wouldn't have any shame put towards them at all.
Thank you, Ian Mac 4448. Winnie's right. In a lull is when we need to lift the team, not get on their backs. Fans disappearing in same complaint as we've been uninterested. I think
I've been in that stadium in relegation seasons when we've been getting beat 2-0, and we're still going 3-2. We're going to win 3-2, and 4-3. We're going to win 4-3 when we're 3-0 down.
This is against our local rivals, and we conceded the goal.
All the more reason.
Everybody could see what was happening, because it's what has happened all season. Do not put that on the fans' back. Do not talk about the past. Talk about those poor fans that were there, myself included, who you're absolutely devastated for. This thing of blaming the fans. I'm not having it. I'm not going to sit here and hear any fan called out for that.
At all.
I'll happily sit here and hear the players called out or the manager called out, but the fans are always there.
Yeah,
I think
but
think
the
a lot
volume
of this,
isn't
though.
always there.
Yeah, I think a lot of this,
that's
though,
the only
is
difference
this,
the fans make.
Yeah, but is this all come down from a season that, as Boaky says, it's a failure? Is it the frustration now starting to show and creep
Absolutely.
in? Because I must admit, I don't listen to the commentary because I try and concentrate on the game. But during the game, I wanted to get the atmosphere. I wanted to get it. And while Michael or Chris was talking on Sunday, I actually put the noise on in the background if Chris has it on. And he did on Sunday, because we wanted to get that experience, if you like. And I must admit, the first half was spectacular. The second half, and again, I can only go wherever the cameras are, and obviously it may be rowdier around that section. I don't know. It's certainly not in the strawberry corner, the stanchion, as it looks across to the east wing. But it still sounded reasonable, even when they equalised. It was only towards the end of the game where it started to dwindle a little bit, the noise. So from my point of view, I wasn't there. I can't say hand on heart that it did disappear. There was certainly a noise that I could hear during the second half, but it certainly wasn't as loud as it was the first half.
All I'm saying is that you couldn't hear the Mackems at all until they equalised. And then they were all you could hear. Whereas
So that's the fans' fault, Win. So you're putting
be
that down to the
fair-
fans.
To be fair, even in that clip that you showed, even though there was some booing, I could still hear fans clapping for the team.
Still clapping, yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
there was altercations going on all over the place. Trust me, between our own fans,
No, I trust you.
saying, you know, what you're booing for. Shut up, man! What you're clapping for? You know, there was a lot of that.
There was a lot of that, yeah, exactly. And that's what I
It
said.
was an episode of NUFC.
I tell you,
was it?
it certainly sounded like more of a soap.
You
footy
heard
match.
some of the comments when I was recording that.
Yeah.
I just wanted to record it to show that the crowd had in fact turned.
Yeah, absolutely.
In
And
that-
you could
in
see,
that
and
moment.
you could feel that. You didn't have to hear it.
That's what I stayed and videoed it for.
Yeah. Thanks,
to
Eddie.
prove
F2J9U. Lads, does Eddie Howe deserve a statue when he leaves? Well, you know what? I'd rather him
Best
leave.
time to ask that.
I'd rather him leave with his head held high rather than be ridiculed. And I think that's sometimes what you have to do. If Eddie Howe swallows the chalice and goes, you know what, I'm going to carry on, I want to bring us back and everything else, and the rug gets pulled from underneath his feet, then you've got to ask yourself who pays for it. Anyway, let's
Answer that one quickly, Gary. 100% because he's won our first domestic cup in 70 years. Yes, he deserves a statue. Yes, he deserves all the plaudits that he'll get when he does leave this club. And yes, he'll always be a legend up here. He'll always be that guy that won us that cup. What I'm saying is, like, you don't live in the past, and he's now failing. He did brilliantly, and he's been a brilliant manager, but he's hit a level, and he's not good enough. And that's the sad thing is, he's got to a point where he can't get any better, and he can't make Newcastle United any better.
No, it's come to. I didn't know about this, to be fair, but apparently there's a report from Lee Ryder that states that Jason Tindall and Graham Jones had heated words near the end of the game on the touchline.
Not trying to fight Jason Tindall, like, goodness me.
Apparently them two were having a go at each other.
What I also did during the match, which we'll show at some stage, was I videoed. This was in the light of what Boaky's constant criticism is, that he's inanimate and does nothing. And I videoed him on the touchline, him and Tyndall, and even Graham Jones came and joined them at one point on the touchline after the equaliser. I videoed them I've got about 4 or 5 minutes of footage, but I actually had to move away because we just started attacking then, so I thought, oh, well, if I can get a goal, I didn't want to miss that. But I was still kind of watching them out the corner of my eye, and they were lifeless. They were exactly as Boaky describes. They just, what do we do?
Who's
what do
that?
we do?
Howe and Tyndall?
Howe, Tyndall, and then Graham Jones joined them. Now, you're saying they had an argument. I don't know whether that was maybe when they had the argument or whatever.
Was this not the second game in a row? There's arguments of some sort of dissension between us, though, because there was supposedly reports of some sort of back and forth happening in the changing room at the Camp Nou midweek, and then at the weekend we've got there, and now our coaching staff are starting to try to argue with each other. That's a little bit concerning, surely, isn't it?
Well, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing.
If we lose the next game, is there any chance that Tyndall and Howe go and Jones comes in as manager at the end of the season?
I would think if they were going to replace Eddie Howe, they would do it right now, like with the international break, because a manager coming in, I wouldn't want to see it be given to Jones, to be honest with you. I think that's going to make the fans kind of...
No, but I'm saying if they lose, if he goes into the next game or the next couple of games and loses them both, is it Jones till the end of the season? Is that what we're doing?
But is Jones not already part of whatever problem's there, though? Like, if he's part of that same staff...
I mean, you've said for long enough, Boaky, that part of the problem is that he hasn't got any new faces in his coaching staff. And that could be the catalyst to get some change in ideas and tactics. And
it's impossible to say, but would Jones change things around? It's pointless giving it to Tyndall because him and Howe are
Well, Jones certainly changed it when he took over from Bruce. Do you remember?
That's just what I was going to say.
I think.
I don't even remember that happening.
Well, he was only
over from Bruce for 2 games.
It was the takeover, wasn't it? Just after the takeover, Tina, the Tottenham game, then Bruce got sacked.
Got sacked, yeah.
Oh, see, I can't.
Bruce says he stepped down.
Jones also had a row with Bruce, didn't he? Before that.
Before that,
about the
Richie argue with people.
I mean, the biggest thing for me is, are we not putting ourselves? If Eddie Howe was to do that, like we lose 2 games and he steps down, I think you're leaving yourself a little bit wide open as a failure. Then, I think, like I say, I think there's a massive few weeks ahead of the board at Newcastle now. Either they have a conversation with Eddie and say, listen, it doesn't matter now. The damage is done, if you like, this season. But you need to pick yourself up, pick the lads up, and go. Don't forget, people can resign. They don't have to accept it as a board. It's a bit of a different situation, I know, at football and management or coach, whichever way you want to talk. But for me, the conversation has to be with the board and Eddie, either now to say, step aside, or if you're going to go into the next couple of games, you've got to do all 7. You can't do 2 games and then move, because, like I said, you might as well do it now and bring somebody fresh-faced in. So at least then they've got 7 games to have a look at the lads and see what they want in the summer or what they need in the summer. That's certainly, for me, if I was at the board level now, that's the question I'd be asking the rest of my board members to say, if we bring somebody in now, it gives him 7 days to root out the cause and bring in what he needs.
I think the only problem is, Gary, thinking about that, if you do bring somebody in to do really well for them 7 games, and all of a sudden they've won 7 games, and then you think to yourself, oh God, do I have to actually give them the job because they've done so well? So it does have like a double-edged sword with that one.
Yeah,
but what I was saying about Maresca, if you remember Maresca, back in the last season, Chelsea and Crystal Palace won all the last 6 games. That was when everybody was going on about Glasner and Maresca being the saviour. And then, to be fair, Chelsea have had ups and downs, but, they were comfortably in top 4 when Maresca was sacked. And this again begs the question, this is what happens when you sack managers. But on the subject of just out of interest, the strength of Newcastle's squad right now, and it being the best we've ever had, Newcastle now have 6 players in the England squad.
Yeah.
Which is more than any other club in the Prem. So the question needs to be asked, if we've got that quality of player in the squad, why are we not doing better?
What is wrong? Yeah, what is wrong?
Who's that down to, end of the day?
I think you've answered the question.
Well, it's down to Eddie Howe.
Yeah.
Of course it's down to Eddie Howe.
Guys, anyway, I'm going to have to get away, so I'll let you back on with the show.
It's lovely to have you on your lunch hour or so.
Yeah, that's me half hour over, yeah.
Well done, lad. Thanks for joining us, Boaky.
See you,
have a good rest of your shift, mate. It's canny that to have Boaky with us for his little ditty.
Just for anyone who was on before saying why we've got a panel full of happy clappers, da-di-da-di-da. Just to remind you that at 9:30, the roles will be reversed.
Oh, yes.
And I was very purposely very middle ground today, so I don't know. But there is 2 super chats.
There's a couple of super chats.
I also wanted to bring up a point that...
I'm going to let you do these, Christina.
Oh, no, because I can't read. Somebody else should do these.
Oh, come on. Okay. Ian Mack.
Okay. So, I was going to read it there. So, Ian Mack, with a £5 Australian dollar super chat, says, does having owners the other side of the world play a part in not understanding, just emphasising the local passion? and the importance of showing up for a derby. So that's a valid question. We've also got a super chat for Wazza, another £2 English this time, which is reminding us that Thomas Franks is available right now. I'm not so sure that I'm delighted about that one. And there is also...
Frank was absolutely superb at Brentford, and we know that Tottenham is notoriously a graveyard. Thomas Frank would certainly be near the top of it, before he went to Spurs. If we were talking about replacing Eddie then, Thomas Frank would certainly have been in the conversation for achieving what he achieved at Brentford. And he comes and he's got Wissa back.
I think the biggest problem is now is, with his tenure at Spurs being so short, I think he'll probably want a breather until the summer.
There is one more
not to mention, by the way, that as well as he did at Brentford, Edwards has taken over, isn't it?
Yeah.
Despite losing this top manager, and losing Mbeumo, and losing Wissa, and losing the kid that went to Arsenal, they're actually doing better now than they were under Thomas Frank.
Yeah, exactly.
So there could be an argument to say Thomas Frank was holding them back, and he's proved it going to Spurs. So you can juggle that any way you want.
What was he? He was a set-piece coach or something, wasn't he? Something like that, I think. Go on, mate. What was you saying?
I don't know.
I was just going to say there was one more super chat from Beetle
Greg
07 for £5, which was, I want to thank Eddie for everything he has done for us, but who do we replace him with? It's a hard time for everyone, and I think that leads very strongly into exactly what we were just talking about there, because if we were going to replace Eddie Howe, we do need to think of who to replace him with. There are 4 managers right now who I could think of who might be able to come in and do a job on the long term for us, but there's always the question of whether it's a good thing or a bad thing to replace a manager at any time. And then there's one more super chat from Monkey Sputum, Sputum, that's exactly what I was going to say, which is, we're in talks with Port Vale for Ben Waine, £90 million.
I think that's tongue in cheek, because at least he can score against the Mackham.
He scored again. Newcastle fan as well.
Somebody can hold up a sign with sarcasm written on it any time there is. So I don't deliver in the tone of somebody who believes that what she's saying
maybe we could ask Chris to put a button saying sarcasm. As you say.
just feed into my head.
Yeah, tongue in cheek. Anyway, listen, we are literally 8 minutes from the lads coming in and changing this happy clapping tune to a bit more of a serious
There was a point
matter.
from Gavin Fuller as well, because he did put 2 questions in the chat and we didn't get to either of what he said, but they were both around the same point, so I did just want to give a shout out to him for mentioning the fact he asked us earlier on if there were any other top sides who play a high octane press the way that we try to. He then went on in a second comment and mentioned that a lot of the fatigue might be because that tactic is something that's not sustainable, and I personally think that's why we brought in players such as Alanga, and we did try to sit back a little bit more after we've taken the leads in games this season, but we just have not been able to adapt to that. But I think it's a very fair shout that, I think we're all starting to see now that pressing style that we did play for a good few years on seasons when we've got Champions League football maybe is not something that we can expect ourselves to be able to do.
I think you've got the literally a double-edged sword, haven't you? Because you've got a team that was bought for the press. That was the identity. And then you've got a team now, and again, you talk about bringing players in, the likes of Wissa, who develops on space. He develops his game via space. When you're playing a press, there's no space for him to develop his game. So as Eddie Howe and the lads on the coaching side of things become halfway men, right? And I say halfway men in a point of view as we Newcastle's identity first off, And because we need to keep a little bit in the locker, we become Nottingham Forest in the second half and rely purely on counter-attacks.
Nottingham Forest catching strays.
So what I'm trying to say is you actually then draw players onto you and then look to get in and behind them. Because we are literally like chalk and cheese at times. And we say it's a game of two halves. It has been for Newcastle this season. And again, to adapt a mentality shift the way Eddie Howe is trying to put in at Newcastle doesn't happen. When you drop off 5% across 11 players, it's mainly 10 because you don't expect the keeper to drop off because he's never dropped on if you think he stood still for most of it. But I mean, the players in front of you, mentally, physically, you drop off that 5% to try and reserve. The game goes around you a lot quicker if they've made tweaks to the game. You saw that with Labrie on the second half. He tweaked a couple of points, a couple of tactical situations where they started to play through the middle of us rather than try and get it down the wings. And it worked. They cut us open more than once. And for me, you bring Murphy on and take off. I mean, listen, Murphy, we only know Murphy's got one thing. Well, no, I'll give him two things. Half a decent shot
Had one of our
and a
best
cross.
shots, yeah.
Yeah, half a decent shot and a cross. But yet, during that substitution, you take off your height up top.
What's going on with that?
Then you bring a Sula on, who runs around like a bloody headless chicken, up top, okay? And then you throw Anthony Gordon, who's done a great job. He's worked his socks off up front for you for a period of time.
He's the only player who I thought came away with credit yesterday.
Well, in the first half, I totally agree with you. Going on to the left-hand side, his head drops. Because, again, it's that mental shift. I've grafted, I've got you the goal, and now you're moving me to left wing, right? So all of a sudden, you have got like for like, but a tactical shift across the park. It doesn't work. Players need 10 to 15 minutes to get that mentality into their heads. You haven't got 10 or 15 minutes in today's game, not in the Premier League anymore. You may have in Europe, you certainly haven't got that in the Premier League. And that to me is criminal. When you take off your 6'7" guy, you've just put a crosser on the field of play. And we've seen it over and over again. I know Chris has repeatedly seen it, or said it, I should say. What are you aiming at? And then you put Wissett on, who again, he's not blessed with height. What are you looking for from these players? You take Anthony Gordon off, and Sula goes left.
Thank you for your super chat, but we're not going to show that one, I'm afraid.
No,
I have been explicitly told by chat, so I'm feeling there was something sarcasm in there. I was about to happily dive into it, but I am being warned by chat, Tina, to not read that. Okay.
Yeah, and that to me is where Eddie Howe fails. When he goes like for like, he's trying to make a change, but when it's failing, and then you start making changes on the field of play to try and correct the wrong that you've just done. That is evident to me at this present moment in time. And I think that, like I say, is where Eddie Howe, unfortunately, is treading thin ice for me. But it is like I say, you can name a multitude of rationale, reasons for the said performance. I don't think any of us have the idea, the reasons why it's happening. It just seems to be the Newcastle way at this present moment in time. I can see the lads gearing up in the background.
Eddie Howe way, isn't it?
Well, are we going to have a statue and the road named after him now, are we?
Howe.
Howe. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, I am going to love and leave you with the lads, just like I say, gearing up with my final thoughts, I suppose. So, hey, Sunderland might have had their day, but this is Newcastle United. Graft, grit, and a pint glass always half full, especially if you're the mighty Win or Tina Tooney, or at least foam on the top. From me, the Geordie Yam Yam, the mighty Win, Boaky, obviously, who fleeted existence while he's at work. Tina Tooney, keep the faith. Toon Army, same tomorrow night, same time. And if the lads can't lift your mood, we'll just shout louder till they can. Away the Toon.
Away the lads.
Set up for maximum confrontation and super opinionated debates. The NUFC Late Night Show with Chris the American Man, Derek the Matey West, and the rest of the panel, Monday through Thursday from 9:30 p.m. UK and UFC Talk Radio, the voice of the Toon Army.
Ooh, the voice of the Toon Army, ladies and gents. It is the Late Night Show. Don't forget to smash that like button. Don't go anywhere, because it is... Oh, man, I don't even mind. This show might just get us canceled completely. So, we shall see. We shall see. But we won't let Waza cancel us. Thank you, though, Waza. I appreciate you, mate. I appreciate you. Don't go anywhere, folks. Don't go anywhere. We are live all the way through 11 p.m. As you know, the usual way of doing it. Mod to explain to new viewers what we do, of course. Early night show from 8 p.m. Late night show from 9:30 all the way to 11 p.m. UK. Don't forget to smash that like button. Very important. Hit the bell for notifications. What do we have to say about the game yesterday? Is it an end of an era? We shall talk about that, ladies and gents. But I do want to give the floor. Unfortunately, Wynn's been talking rubbish, blaming fans. Blaming fans. He's talking about it, and he says, because it's usual, he's a coward. It's a usual coward. He says, I'm not blaming them. I'm just saying. So why would you mention it then? Why would you mention that the fans stopped singing? For what reason in particular? Why? Unless you're blaming them for not getting up, jumping up and down like idiots. For what? What do they have to be happy about? Those fans, after seeing that draws after halftime. For what specific reason? But you can answer that later on. I want to know Jefferson's opinion on this particular matter, that on this particular game from yesterday against the Mackems. Jefferson, the mic is yours. We haven't seen you in a long time here, so let us know what you think.
But what's the language? Assessment?
What's your language? But yeah, man. But do give us. Yeah, we can hear you, mate. But do give us your very cutthroat opinion on this particular matter. Go on. The floor is yours.
Well, I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so. And you guys have been watching me for at least 18 months now. Well, I've been saying it from day one. All the chickens have come home to roost. No one wanted to listen to me. I was made a pariah in the fan base. But everything I've said pretty much has come true. I think Eddie is washed up. He's finished. And it's the time for him to walk with his head held high for what he's done from the times before. But his time is very much gone. I mean, to lose 2 derbies this season, effectively 3-1 on aggregate, I'm not really acceptant of people that are deciding to hop the fence now. It's too late. I've been carrying that cross since day one, really. But listen, it's so pitiful now. I feel sorry for the Colties, and I don't know if they're gonna form Eddie Howe FC and Eddie Howe FC branch at another club when he eventually moves on. So this is it, man. That's all I got to say at this point.
We are knackered.
Oh man, so D-man, give me your take as well, man. I want to know your opinion. What do you think about this draws that we saw? Do you think it's over? Do you think it's the end of Eddie Howe? What are you thinking?
Well, to be honest, he wasted my time because I went up to the game. Yeah, took my son up there. You can see that he wasted his performance. And to be fair to Jefferson, I think we all owe him an apology because I was Eddie in for a certain amount of time, and I had my debates with Jefferson about it, but he's been proven right. I think his race has run. I think that game summed it up. It's typical, isn't it? We start well in the first half, and then we die second half. And I don't know what he said to them at halftime, but he keeps repeating himself, and it's not working. Yeah, you cannot lose 2 derbies like that in that fashion as well, because not one of those derbies did we deserve to win. Yeah, against Sunderland, who are newly promoted, spent half the money, and they're crap. Yeah. But yet we still can't lay a glove on them. That for me, I thought was embarrassing to Barcelona game, but that was even worse. Yeah, that was even worse. And to me, I don't understand. The boos at full time say it all, innit? I don't see how we can. Listen, I don't think it's right to sack him now. But end of the season, I don't see how we can continue next season because I'm not seeing anything different. It's more of the same nonsense that we're witnessing. The players seem to have checked out. Certain players are going to leave. We don't have to control games. I don't know, man. Like Jeff said, the chickens have come home to roost, and it's not looking good for us at the moment. It's quite a depressing state of affairs. I don't see how anyone can find anything positive to say about him at this present time. You know what I mean? So
yeah, no. Excellent take. I don't know how anyone can defend this crap. Tim, you called me the other day about this, but I mean, what did you after a few hours, or more than a few hours now after the game? What did you think about it?
It's the same, really. It's obviously it was gutting at the time, and I think change is needed. And like you say, D-Man, maybe doing it now, is that going to do any good? I don't know. I think it's a case of maybe waiting until the summer when you've got a better pick of managers. Certainly the manager I think we should be getting might be more open to coming in the summer. So maybe you wait until then. But I think it has, we said earlier in the season, well, I said earlier after the Brentford game, the away game, that it went stale, it seemed. And then the Derby game at the Stadium of Light, it seemed the same thing was still the case. It was stale, and we've had these bursts of form, if you like, and we've had some glimmers of hope along the way up till now. But I think, I'll always say massive respect for Eddie Howe. I'm not going to kind of go jump on any hate bandwagon or anything like that, but I think his race has run, and that happens in football. We need a new voice, and you have to be, I think, very special in order to keep that attention with the dressing room over, after 4 years or so. And when it's the same voice, I think maybe his conservative manner perhaps goes against him in that regard after 4 years, where you need to freshen things up, you need a new voice or maybe new backroom stuff. But I think, his race has run, I think, unfortunately. And, for me, we absolutely must, in my opinion, get Iriola in the summer.
Wow. You heard Tim, he might be going Bilbao. Valverde's leaving at the end of the season, and apparently
that is why we absolutely need to get on the blower and sell this project to ASAP.
So, I mean, I think we're a bit soft right now. We're being a bit, I think D-Man's take was pretty good. But when I called you a coward because you were a coward when you mentioned the fans. So you want to take that back? Do you want to?
How does that make me a coward?
Because you don't want to talk about what you need to talk about, who you need to talk about, the specific people, protagonists of the responsible human beings on the pitch. Those are the ones you should be talking about instead of the fans. Blaming fans for the atmosphere was down. Therefore, what? What do you bring that up for?
What do you bring that up for? What have they got to cheer about?
I brought it up because I didn't actually bring it up. Somebody else brought it up.
Well, you triple down on it, so it's your take. Don't take it back now.
All I said was that the fans weren't as magnificent as everybody said they were. They were fantastic at the start, and that war flags display was absolutely magnificent.
Right. And what happened after in the second half?
When Sunderland equalised, all you could hear thereafter was the Sunderland fans, and that's not when any away fans start singing "Where's your famous atmosphere?" That's when it gets regenerated, and it's the worst thing they can do normally, because then the whole stadium comes to light to show them where the atmosphere is. Didn't happen yesterday.
If it was a one-off game, the fans would have done what the way they usually would have responded. But the problem is that Newcastle fans, all Newcastle United fans, no, well, exactly. But the point is, the Newcastle United fans are tired of this. This is not the first time. They're sick of losing like this. They're sick of performing like this. They're sick of it. This is just the cherry on top. By the way, you've been defending this crap all year, saying that it's going to be all right. So I'm still waiting on the when this is going to be all right part to come around, because you've been defending this.
I'll tell you.
For what reason? We don't know.
The season's finished.
Season's over. D-Man,
I think it might get worse. It might get worse. All the teams we got to play have something to play for. That's why I think we just need to sack Eddie now. Why are we waiting? because all the teams we're going to play have something to play for. So it could be defeat after defeat after defeat. To be honest with you, anyway, I think after the first Sunderland game, I think that I'd always said it, guys. Last season, the summer, I'd always said give him 12 games. And we weren't doing very well at that point. So I read the situation even before then. If he'd been sacked before, there would have been enough of the season to resolve for the better managers to come in. What has happened is we've put all our eggs in the Eddie Howe basket. And as a result of that, we've exchanged that with the club's fate and the players we're now going to lose as well. And it's a complete mismatch. And I've never seen a club run like this before. Absolute madness. Should have been gone a long time ago. Because this is what happens when emotion and sentiment outweighs logic.
Ooh.
Simple as that.
That's
and we've
true.
gone the wrong way.
Nice
And
little
again,
soundbite.
and another one, Mitchell was right. We backed the wrong horse. He was right. And we owe him an apology as
Fit
well.
for purpose, not fit
I'm
for
sorry,
purpose.
it's not
Remember
fit
that?
for purpose.
Not fit for purpose. It's not
Eddie's
fit for
wasted
purpose,
our
man.
money. Eddie's wasted our money. You know, tell me how both Byrne and Trippier were responsible for 5 out of the 7 goals conceded, and yet he still picks him in the Derby game. I don't care that Byrne's
After we
a
kept the
local
clean
lad.
sheet at Chelsea,
I
by
don't
the way.
care. You know,
But
the Chelsea
Jefferson.
game was the blessing in disguise. That literally told us we've discovered something here. We've got a solid back line. Just stick with it. Just stick with it. It doesn't
Jefferson,
matter
I know
about
you-
favouritism and all that.
I get that about Chelsea, right? But and look, you know, Eddie Howe. I think I say I'd replace him with Areola. So I'm not going against what you're saying. But in terms of the defence, you look at Tino when he came on against Barcelona. I'm sorry, like that effort was terrible when he came on. So like I can sort of understand why you come to the Derby game. For me, it was a flip of a coin, really, who you play right back, because yes, Trippier is getting on, his legs are going a bit, but he has played well at times recently. Obviously, at Barcelona, he got exposed. But then Tino comes on against Barcelona and was equally as bad, if not worse, because that goal was
Well, it's
conceded.
true.
Lewandowski.
That's just
Well, he
why
was
not
bad
play one?
yesterday.
You just play
He's-
one of them. Why do you need to play both of them? This is him
No, I don't.
and
I
Dan
agree.
Burn.
I agree. I said at the time, yeah, I'll play one in one game and one in the other.
Yeah,
That was my idea.
yeah.
I'm
And
just
these are
saying when the
weaknesses.
game comes along and you see what happened against Barcelona, that wasn't a great showing from Tino. And if I'm the manager, I'm thinking I'm a bit worried about putting Tino in this game out of all games when I see that lack of effort against
But
Barcelona.
what about Trippier costing us with the penalty? That he's been
Yeah.
showing all season he's not been at it, and his
He was
attitude
caught out.
off
He was
the pitch.
caught out.
And his
He was
attitude
caught
off the
out.
pitch. Tell me, in terms of the dressing room, what kind of message does that send? Again, obviously, I don't want us to get in trouble, but we've seen the photos, so we know what that's about in terms of a nightlife. The geezer's head ain't right. What kind of a message does that send to the rest of the dressing room? You know, that we can go out frolicking and all that, and no matter what happens, rain or shine, we're still getting the team.
Because even though he's caught out, when he's on the pitch, he does give everything and he does try and lead by example. And he's
He's not
vocal.
good
He
enough,
tries
Tim.
to.
He just say, is
That's
he
not
good
good
enough?
enough.
Yeah, I
Tim,
know it's
Tim,
good
being
enough. Look,
vocal is not
I'm
an
not sitting
attribute,
here
mate.
saying.
I'm
I'm not
sorry.
sitting saying it's good enough. I'm saying that the logic is you have a player in Tino Livramento who is very suspect defensively, who on the main issue is that when he came on, he has looked absolutely flaky. He has lacked effort basically when he came on. So all I'm saying is whatever you say about Trips, he hasn't, I would say, lacked effort. And when you go into a Derby game, I can sympathise when you've got
Yeah,
a
but
decision to make.
but Tim, you have criticized that pick when Eddie Howe picked Gordon over Barnes for some of this quote unquote running that we don't see yet. So you know that's a bit of a double standard there. Don't you think? And by the way, I agree with you on this part that Tino is worthless defending as well because he cost us the Mackham goal. Matter of fact, I'm not saying he cost us, but look at him play. Put your eye on him on that last goal.
Oh, Dan Burn is also
Oh,
responsible.
no. But on that last
They
goal,
all at fault for that last one.
No.
There's so many people at fault
I'm
for
not
that
saying
last one.
again. I went back on saying he is at fault. However, he should have done a lot more. He was standing there.
Fair enough, Chris. He was standing there. But if you watch the second goal, the Brobby goal, forget the ball coming into Xhaka and Siddiqui in the midfield because the midfield were at fault for that as well. But when it gets to the left-hand side, Burn has to trust that Hall has got that side. He's abandoned the post, which is his middle central area. So when the ball comes in, Brobby's got a shot. Tino and Brobby's a mismatch. Tino's the right back, it's come in the middle channel. The centre back should have been there. He abandoned his post to go for the same man that Hall went for. There's a lack of communication at the back there, or a mistrust. It's Burns' fault. And he was at fault for at least 4 of the goals in midweek. Why is he playing?
I don't
What's
know
Lewis?
about that.
That's the hallmark.
Thank you, Wazza, for the super chat.
Want to admit it, and it's all in front of you, Pete.
No, I don't care. I don't care not to admit it. I think you're blaming him for the last 4 goals. I mean, I think that's a bit much, but that's my opinion. Thank you, Wazza, for the super chat.
4 of the goals. 4 of the 7
Thank you,
goals.
Wazza, for the super chat, mate. Thank you, Jordy Dan, for another super chat. Paul Mitchell must have thought we were a total joke. Well, again, I still haven't heard from the man who has told all of us here that this is going to be all right. I don't. You're in hibernation right now. Maybe because you have nothing left to say.
I'm not in hibernation at all.
And the fact that you knew who I was speaking of speaks volumes.
My position has been crystal clear for 18 months now. Eddie's
We know
job
you've been wrong.
is to get this team into Europe. As long as he does that, he's succeeding.
Well, listen,
And
I don't care about you.
There is still every chance that he can do that.
We don't care. We don't care about your predictions because you're never going to follow through with what you say anyway. You talk about the last one was at Christmas. Christmas went by.
Yeah, you said something about
yeah,
December.
exactly. So that's irrelevant.
At Christmas, who were they?
What do you, for 1 week? Get out of here, man. What happened? Why are you scared to talk about who you need to talk about? Like that's my point.
Far from scared.
You still got a T-shirt on, Win. What's going on, man?
Correct.
Oh man.
Eddie Howe
Unbelievable,
FC.
man.
Proves it. Down with the ship. You're going down with the ship. You're going down with the Titanic, yeah?
Shout out, was I thinking, man? Chris the Fox in the chicken coop.
I'll be sending him down with the Titanic if he doesn't achieve what I expect him to achieve as manager in Newcastle United.
And that's European
Well, first of all,
he's flopped again. He's flopped again.
We don't
He's
know
clearly
this
flopped.
yet.
He's not getting European football, is he? Let's be real. He's not.
Right?
not.
And if he doesn't, he's got to go.
He should be gone now.
Say he manages to get Conference League. All of this is acceptable to you?
If he gets Conference League, where is the logic in sacking a manager who's achieved European football every season since he's got here, given the
where's
resources
the logic
that this club has?
Look
What
at the
resources?
games we've lost
250
with.
million.
Look at the games we've lost
And
and the performances.
on the way, by the way, got the 2 cup finals, further than we've ever got in the Champions League,
my
and
God.
won our first,
And
We
and
know
won
what
our
he's done,
first
Win.
trophy
We
for
know what
70
he's done,
years.
Win.
We
Start
choked.
looking forward. Start looking forward. Forget the past. We can appreciate the past, but look forward. Look at the present. If you don't look forward, look at the present.
I'm
Look at the
looking
teams that
forward.
we lost to this season at home. Forget in general at home. Brentford,
Yeah.
Everton. Yeah, those two
Yeah.
alone. Yeah, Sunderland. Sack him. Come on, bro. His race has run. St.
Yeah,
James's
well,
Park is no longer a fortress.
so that's-
Away from
that's-
is horrible. Yeah, we're
That's
sitting in
the
what, 12
That's
or whatever it
the
is. I can't-
only difference that there is between us. Your patience has expired, and mine hasn't.
But the
when-
problem
when
is,
will enough be enough? This is the question.
Yet.
but you can't put that down to one lucky qualification. That can't be. Look at
It'll
look
not
at the
be
process, man.
lucky. It
Well,
would
it will be.
a lucky qualification.
But look at the
Villa
process, man. Look at the process, man. The process is unbelievably shocking. It would be the other way if you're talking about we're playing so great and we're just unlucky not getting results. Then you would have
Well,
something to go
by
by.
By the way, this game is
Don't change
about
the subject.
this game is about very small margin. No, you're saying we've been unlucky.
Small
And
margin.
we
Are you
have been
serious?
unlucky.
Are
Yeah,
you serious?
keep
What
up,
happened
keep up,
yesterday,
yeah.
man?
I'm talking about innumerable decisions this season and innumerable
Man.
things that have happened this season which have been very unfortunate for Newcastle United.
Like what?
Come on, man. At some point, you're not
Well,
unlucky.
like-
You're just bad.
Like
at some-
refereeing decisions that have cost us.
No.
points left, right, and
I'm
centre.
teen. You
on,
can say
come on.
shockingly the last 2 games or so, but I'm
Oh,
teen.
Everyone
is
gets
how
those.
hot.
many-
Every
hold on.
team
How many
suffers.
times-
Every
how
team
many
suffers
times-
these dodgy referee decisions.
How
Everything
many
happens to every
times have
team.
we come on here and blamed the ref?
That's what all teams do, Win. That's what it happens.
Yeah,
It's football.
but
Exactly. That's what all
Every
fans
club
do.
can say that.
Rubbish.
Every club can say that.
They're
Come on, man.
rubbish.
What
We
next? What's the
like-
other reason? What else has been unfortunate? Don't say injuries. Do not say injuries.
Yeah,
So what?
key
Everybody
injuries
has injuries,
in
man.
key positions. Yeah, I know they
Everyone
do.
had, and when you play 100 miles an hour for 60 games, the injuries are going to happen. They're going to
Yeah,
happen.
and
So
that's,
what else?
That's the
It happens, and it happens to every other team. Yeah. So what else? Tottenham have had worse injuries than us. Yeah.
Yeah. Tottenham have.
It happens.
Look where
It's part and
Tot- look where
parcel.
Tot-
Eddie,
look where
Eddie
Tottenham
had
are.
his chance. He flopped in 23-24, where we didn't qualify for Europe. where
Well,
he
we're finished seventh.
But we
and
didn't qualify.
Any other
We
season,
didn't-
finishing
but
seventh
it
gets you
doesn't
into
matter,
Europe.
We didn't get it over the line.
Correct.
We had
Remember the last 3 games.
we had
Yeah.
sixth place in our hands, and we choked.
Following the worst injury record in
And
football
whose fault was that?
history.
And whose fault was that? Whose fault?
Well,
Whose playing style and whose
you can
fault was
argue
that?
the point. You can argue the point.
Player
whose
welfare
fault
is a
that.
disgrace, even now, today. But my point is this. We've already been through the 2-year cycle with Eddie. What people have to understand is if you agree for Eddie
No.
to
What
stay,
you've got to understand is everybody doesn't have to think the way you think.
well,
But Win, you
agree with me than
Win, you are in the minority right now. Win, you are in the minority.
You're on your
You are on the basically right now. You're on the daft end at the moment right now. You know, people are looking at you sad, man. Sad.
Well, let them
I mean,
look.
They feel bad. They feel bad for you because you're defending. You don't even have what it takes to just go and criticize this team the way you're supposed to. You bring up the fans. I'm shocked by it. And the man that you're defending.
I'm not bringing up the fans as a reason why we're played as badly.
So why would you bring it up?
I didn't bring it up. Somebody else brought it up.
So, no, but why would you mention it? You mentioned it.
D-Man,
you were at the game where
somebody else brought the fans up and says even with those magnificent fans, they couldn't raise
with those magnificent fans, exactly.
Raise the rack.
The amount of
I'm saying
the amount of work they put in
yesterday after Sunderland.
Come on, man. Are you kidding me? Any fan with half a brain would be down after your team literally comes out in the second half and bottles it. I'm sorry, I don't know what you expect from human beings, but the way human beings work is like that.
Maybe
if your team,
maybe I expect what they got of me.
What they get to get of you? You taking a nap in the middle of the stadium? Come on, man. No. It's listen. And your manager that you back,
still trying to get them.
Tim,
I understand the sentiment Win is saying in that in tough times we want to rise above everything and pull ourselves together and try our best to lift the team. That's
and not
what
throw the towel in like the team did.
Yeah, if they're not going to do it,
what are they going to do, man?
But look,
so
it's just
ideology.
At the same time, Jefferson. At the same time, because I've heard people say the same thing as Win. Other people, I wasn't there. Okay, so I couldn't see what I saw on TV. It was bouncing first half, but second half obviously went flat. And
how
we
could
can argue
they be? How could they be? I mean, it's
good what?
The way we bottled it. How could they be bouncing up and
performing like that on the pitch? You can't.
Yeah, I know. I understand. I'm not criticizing. I'm saying I understand because I was.
I'm not criticizing. I'm just saying I'm different.
This disaster. I could see it coming anyway when we didn't get the second goal. All I'm saying is that I know what the sentiment that Win is saying. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. That's what I'm saying. I've heard other people say the same thing. The main point, the main focus is ultimately the team let us down and let the City down. So,
right.
And the team themselves, like you say, Chris, have done this time and time again in terms of losing leads. And the mental fragility was clearly there on display. And I think the fact that we didn't get that second goal before half-time, when the players came out, I think they knew in the back of their minds that because it was only 1-0, they've seen this film before. And
that's it, Tim. That's it. That is it right there. Because if this was a one-off game, they would have been like, "Oh, come on, let's get the lads in." But this is happening game after game after game. The poor people are just tired of this nonsense, man.
Why do we do this?
Different viewpoints.
When we win, Eddie, what a great manager. It's thanks to the manager we won. But when we lose, it's the players' fault.
No, that's your narrative, that, by the way, not me.
Who said that?
That's what all the coaches say. Eddie, everyone praises Eddie when we win, but when we lose, it's everyone but his
He's
fault.
the last one to be
The
criticised.
Cole
He's the
easily to
last one to
sort
be
themselves
criticised.
out. It's
No,
pathetic.
all I ever say in
I'm
those
just tired
circumstances,
of it
as
now.
you well know, is you blame Eddie every time we get beat. So why not give him praise when we win? That's
Right, so
that's
we've
all
lost.
I
We
say.
don't win
We lost.
enough.
So whose fault is it? Whose fault
Most
is
fans
it?
I've heard have criticised Eddie Howe like after this.
At last.
Including
At
me.
It's
last.
taken a while. It's taken a while, but they've got there.
taken a
I've
flogging
been
before they
criticising him all
realised.
season.
No. You've been
Nah,
labeled.
you ain't, mate.
You like what's this guy journalist? Not Keith Downey, but the other one, Pete Graves. Going on today on social media talking about it's good to see what people say on X, something like that, because it gives me a perspective of what online fans are talking about. Screw all that categorizing and putting fans in tears, man. Because that's what you do. You're talking about match-going fans, online fans, and all that crap. They're all Newcastle United fans, and right now, trust me, very, very unified on one particular decision. Very unified. So at this point, there's no point in dividing fans
they're
anymore
not
like you always do.
unified at all, by the way.
He must be a
But they are,
Freemason.
actually.
I think he must be a Freemason or
Adrian
something like
Pickett's
that.
in. Win loves to play devil's advocate.
But look,
Everyone-
there's a lot of match-going fans.
He campaigned for years to make smoking legal in primary schools.
Yeah, exactly. So listen, there is a lot of match-going fans in the chat that disagree with you wholeheartedly, by the way. So
Absolutely.
this notion that match-going
Listen,
is,
the balance.
that's
is
why
wrong.
that conversation is irrelevant. Why don't you criticize your manager, the one you think that is
I
amazing
don't
and all
criticize
this
him
crap?
all the time.
No. Why? No. But why don't you bring up the fact that once again he plays with no proper center forward up top? That brings in Murphy, who's doing a decent job at putting crosses in the box with nobody tall enough to get them. Nobody tall enough to get. Harvey Barnes wasn't good with his head. Gordon was somewhere, I don't know where, probably in Liverpool, because he wasn't at the game last night. So why don't you criticize that? Why don't you criticize that?
Why you bring Gordon into the criticism? He was the one person who could walk off that field yesterday with his head held high.
Right.
Again, I've got when you started
you've
shouting,
got
I was
an
going
agenda.
no. Hold on. When you started going, I had to correct myself because he did create a good play that started with Voltamata, by the way. Anyway, we're not going to mention him, right? And
Correct.
Gordon did
in his best role.
And Gordon did a great job by scoring that goal.
No.
That's it. After that, he was gone. He was missing in action.
He was
after
not
that.
missing at all.
What did he say about
Yes, he
Voldemort?
was.
What did he say about Voldemort? He said he played in his best role.
Once again, absolutely.
What role was that?
Once again,
in his best role.
I give up. I can't.
What role did he play in that game, please? Don't say a 10, because I don't care what anybody said. He did not play.
Where was he when he made the goal?
No, I said in the game. In the game, where did he play?
And in the that's exactly what he in the goal. That's
yeah, from
his
a goal
position.
kick win. From a goal kick, he was there. Yeah, but for the game, he was playing as an 8. He was playing as an 8, out of position again. Yeah, and he still played it probably one of our better players, to be fair. But well too deep. Yeah, he should be playing closer to the goal. Why did he have to continue to play play him in the 8? It makes no sense.
I don't think
Excuse me.
Go.
Right, excuse me. Here we go. Let me see. Germany head coach Julian Nagelsmann says, "What I can promise is that he's rarely an 80-meter away from the goal for he's not 80 meters away from goal for us. I try to get him closer to 30 meters from the goal, and then he is dangerous. He knows him best. So why can't Eddie Howe find that out? Why can't he come into that realization?
He's rubbish. Because he's rubbish.
Because this should be really easy stuff. It shouldn't be rocket science, right? And I'm going to give you a damning stat, Mighty Win. A damning stat. Shout out Alex Hurst, by the way, who I saw in Newcastle when I saw him there. League games at St. James Park this season. Voltemata or anyone else up front, your favorite guy, including everybody else. 7 games, we got 6 points in 7 games. With Voltemata, 9 games, and we got 20 points. 20 points out of those 9 games. And only 6 points out of the 7 games that somebody else was playing up front. Why don't you like stats to bring up it? You run immediately to XG and XA and X and all that stuff. So why don't you care about the pertinent stat that's right there?
I would like to know which games they were, because I think they've been cherry picked. Because you're saying he's only played 13 games all season.
When did I?
You said 20 points.
Well,
You
yes,
said 20
you said
games.
how many with and how many without, how many up front and how many not up front.
At St. James's Park, 9 games
Oh, this is
with
at
him up
St.
front.
James's Park now.
Of course.
Yes, that's what he said.
No, that's not now. That's the stat. So
Yeah,
Right,
that's
right.
9
But
games at St. James's Park with him.
This is home games you're talking about.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter. The stats
we
are the
play at
stats,
St. James.
mate.
We play at St. James's Park. I don't know if you knew that, but yeah, that's our home. Yeah. So 9 games with him up front, we got 20 points. 7 games we played with him up front, we only got 6. That's a pretty damning stat. That's a pretty damning stat.
It is. But that's at home.
Okay.
No,
So why didn't he do it at home then?
What's your point?
So why did he do it at home then? Why doesn't he play that at home then? Surely he should be playing it at home, up top at home then. If he's getting more points at home, if he got those extra points, where would we be in the league?
We'd be in the relegation.
We played him up front for numerous games, and he was useless.
And how many games has Gordon been useless up front?
At the
Apart from
start,
penalties.
at the
Apart from
very start of
penalties.
the season, when we had nobody else,
Look, I think Gordon's played up front and played brilliantly at times. Sometimes he's been absolutely crap.
Gordon's done
Sometimes
excellent.
Voldemort's
He's been crap more time than he's been brilliant up front. Let's be real. Let's be real.
Voldemort's played up front as well, and Voldemort's played really well at times, and also poor at times. I think for me, with Eddie Howe, he's too rigid in that. We're trying to paint a black and white picture. I think with Voldemort at times. Look, I think both things can be true. I think sometimes they had bad games, sometimes they had good games. But I think Eddie Howe, yesterday, for example, that was the perfect opportunity, because I thought he was playing better than he had been recently, even though he was further away from the goal than he probably should be. But that was a perfect game, I think, where making the subs, he could have put him up front for the last 20 minutes, because he probably felt good. He felt like he was involved in the game more. I thought he was doing quite well. And again, Eddie Howe, he's reluctant. He's got these set plays in his mind. So instead of putting Voldemort up front, in his mind, he's set on either playing him as an 8 or nothing. And that's a frustration for me with the whole situation.
The thing about it is, every player has good games and bad games. No, of course, everybody does. But you don't switch them away from their main position. I mean, because there's no fair way of judging the player's performance. I mean, I can't put Lewis Hole as a right wing because he's going to be rubbish. I can't do that and then judge him and say he's not good enough. I can't do that.
He's trying to get Voldemort, just quickly, sorry, Jeff. He's trying to get Voldemort into the game. So we'll play Karabag away and Villa away. Everyone was raving about Voldemort, and they were saying he had a brilliant game because he was more involved. And finally, he's getting touches in the ball. Finally, he's actually involved in the game that everyone was crying out for. So everyone was saying he played really well. So I understand that to a point where it's unorthodox, but you're getting him involved. Then, so I think for me, I understand that to that point. But then, yes, I agree that later on down the line, don't be so rigid to absolutely stick to that, because later down the line, you can then move him back up front because he feels a bit more confident. He's getting involved in the games more, and you can try and have the wingers close to him from that point onwards. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
Ian Fleming, 25 months of memberships. Thank you, Ian.
He's got to come in there, fool. Well, if you go, hold on, Jefferson, I apologize, man. Yeah, he's celebrating for 25 minutes of membership, and he adds, there was a report today that PIF have every faith in Eddie Howe, and he will be given the money to rebuild the squad for next season. We're going to read more into that in a minute, but Jefferson, thank you, Ian.
I was just going to say, the upturn in Voldemort's form was about the poor opposition. That's why you've seen a different performance there. But we saw in Brian Brobby yesterday, if you're playing in that central forward position, that's how you play it. Now, at the end of the day, people might say... Are you
saying Voldemort could play that?
He could play it better than Gordon, yeah. He scored more goals than Gordon.
Shut up, man.
How many Premier League goals from open plays Gordon got, Win?
I don't know, about 4 or
about 3?
It was literally...
Voldemort's got 7, is it? Or 8?
Voldemort is no Brian Brobby, trust me.
So Voldemort has
lightweight.
So Voldemort has double the amount
Gordon.
of goals from open play than Gordon, and you're telling me Gordon can play the role better than him. How does that make sense? Now, coming back to my point is, when you play centre forward, right, the centre forward is not just about going forward. a good sign if you've had a good centre forward is to relieve pressure from the team. Gordon can't hold the ball up. So if you noticed in the second half, there was repeated pressure coming back our way. You need someone that can either stretch or hold the ball up top. If
Hang
the
on,
ball
and
is
you're saying that was down to Gordon?
hold on. If the ball is repeatedly coming back, that means that the centre forward is not doing their job to relieve the team of pressure. That is part of a centre forward role. If you can't do that, don't play in the position. You're not meant to be playing there. Everyone and their dog knows he's not a centre forward. Okay? Yes, he presses from the front. So what? He's not clinical. You saw that even on the left side when he had an open shot, he was blasting over the bar. He can't even shoot.
Twice.
He's not that good. And we've put all our eggs in his basket as well. We've just done things so wrong. We've done things so wrong, and then the whole Rayan thing and all that. I'm just so frustrated. I can't deal with it. It's an amateur operation, amateur, and that starts with the manager, him and his nephew. They need to go, man.
He's allowed Gordon to think he's the main man in this team. That's what he's done. Yeah.
Crazy.
From the moment he said that he don't want to play on the right, that's why he puts Harvey Barnes out there. He made a rod for his own back. Yeah. So Gordon can play wherever he wants. Yeah. Even when he doesn't perform, and he's still going to get selected. Voltemada and Vis gone. Sorry.
Go on, D-man.
Now I'm gonna say Voltemada and Vissa must be pissed. Yeah. That they're seeing Gordon start over and over again up front, yeah, when they are designated strikers. You paid big money for them and you're not even getting an opportunity. It's embarrassing. What other top club does that? It makes no sense.
None of them.
Yeah, the situation with Witta is an interesting one, but he has cooked it up as well. Because you can't be liking man of the match for the other guy over there. You can't do that. You can't. No, come on, man. Because I know what you're doing. I know what you're saying there.
It's a brain dead move. It
is a brain dead move. But I think what you're trying to say is that he did it deliberately. He did it deliberately.
Of course he did. Like
he did it deliberately, and that's even more. And there's more. It's more inflamed. I don't know if they know each other, or if they know. I don't know how they know. I don't know if the other guy is from where he's from. I don't know. But all I'm saying is, or if he knows him as a friend or whatever. The point is, he must have done that deliberately, and that is worse than doing it by mistake. And I think he's tired of being here. I think he wants to be the main guy. I don't know. And also, we're gonna criticize Sean Neve because he likes. I don't understand this. He literally likes the Mackham's official post saying what a performance, and he likes the post on Instagram. So Wissa and Sean Neve, two idiots.
The whole thing
is two idiots.
Maybe they're just fed up, man. Maybe they're just fed up.
Sean Neve never gets a chance to sniff, the pitch. Wissa doesn't either, and so it's turning out to be really. I agree. It's turning out to be toxic because these guys are trying to make statements.
It sounds like he's in the dressing room.
All for one man. Get rid of him. Get rid of him.
Look at all the other players he's played out of position. He's played Tonali right back, Murphy, Miley, yeah, Lewis Hall at right back. But yet Gordon can pick and choose where he wants to play.
In the building.
Come on, man. What are we doing?
Yeah, I think the Gordon thing is a real black mark, if you like, against Eddie Howe, in that it seems like has succumbed to Gordon's request basically to play where he wants. And I think the moment that Eddie Howe said to Anthony Gordon, okay, I'm not going to play your right wing because you don't like to play there, I think that set the wrong tone. And Anthony Gordon, for me, has the attributes to play right wing. He did for Everton. There's no reason why he wouldn't be able to do that. And I think the issue, perhaps, is that means he's not the main man. That means he's a provider. And does Anthony Gordon want to be a provider? I think he wants to cut inside and be the main man. And I think Eddie Howe should have been stronger, obviously, with that.
Oh, lovely.
Wow.
Thank you very much to Animal Lecter. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. Massive there from Animal Lecter, all the way from the Midlands, who says, I told you guys he should have been told to go after winning the cup. He would have gone down as a legend. Now he could end up being hounded out like Bruce. Listen, I don't think it's going to get to that level. I think people are upset right now. They're going to be this about.
Remember the Batman quote? Remember the Batman quote? Yeah, die a hero or live long enough to become the villain. Yeah, just remember that.
Yeah, that's good, by the way. That's really good from Nima. But the thing is, early night show talking about a statue for Eddie Howe. talk about not reading the room. All of you, just as for like Sean Neve and Wissa, talk about not reading the room. Talk about an Eddie Howe statue, and even Boaky over out there from his work, talking about a statue he deserves. Of course he deserves it, but that's not right now. It's not the place to talk about it.
He does, but now's not the time. Now's not the time.
Well, he does, but we need to do that 20 years from now.
We've had this discussion before, Jefferson. We've had this discussion before, man.
Division 2 team. What is going on? Guys, he's won the League Cup. He's not even won the FA Cup. Did Leicester do that for Brendan Rodgers? You see a statue for Ranieri outside Leicester? No. Let's get with it. Let's grow up.
Well, we don't know when we're going to see a trophy again. We don't know.
Listen, if we build a statue for Eddie because he won the League Cup, what on earth are we going to do the day we have a manager that actually wins us the Premier League? What are we going to do for him?
We'll build him a statue as well.
Name a stand after him as well.
Maybe the same guy.
Right. I just want to check. This ain't Gateshead. This ain't South Shields. This is like
Jefferson.
We're 8th in the all-time Premier League table. We've won the FA Cup 6 times. We won the league 4 times.
I don't think. When was
the last time? When was the last time before Eddie?
Eddie deserves a bust. That's about it.
Okay, and what was the last cup we won?
Bobby Robson got a bust.
The Carabao Cup.
Come on. The Intercities Fair Cup, which was the old school Europa League.
Yeah.
Is there a statue for that manager?
No, but there's
why would we do one for Eddie Howe for some Tim Pot Cup? Why would we do that?
No, hang on. Because there's a lot of in fact, I think it's could even be underway right now. A lot of talk about Joe Harvey getting a statue. Rightly.
Well, a lot of talk.
A continental trophy.
At some point, these people need to stop talking and get the job done. What are you talking about Joe Harvey getting a statue? That should have been done already. I mean, what are you on about, man?
It should have been done already, absolutely.
I was chatting to Arsenal fans. I know they probably got sour grapes because they lost, but I'm not saying we should have the same attitude, but I think they see the cup for what it is. I know for us it had so many
What's the meaning for us? But in the round of things of football...
The realisticness is Crystal Palace outdone us winning the FA Cup. There's more prestigious history in that cup.
And also they don't have...
The League Cup is a tertiary trophy. It's a third-ranked trophy.
Listen. Oh, well, look, objectively, you're right.
For that.
When was the last time we won a third-ranked trophy?
When's the last time Crystal Palace won it? Crystal Palace never won it. Crystal Palace never won it. So that's kind of it. But look, listen.
For winning the Europa.
Listen. Well, that's true. Actually, that's bringing up fair points. But I do still believe that he's going to be recognized. But that tonight is the night for doing. I mean, Newcastle fans shock me, man, and I'm let down by Boaky entertaining that because Boaky's supposed to have some common sense. It's incredible, man. Now I want to talk about you again, Win, because you've been saying some stuff that's unbelievable. But maybe not falling far from the tree, Anthony Gordon coming out and speaking on this post-match press conference, or not press conference, but post-match thoughts getting recorded, not having the common sense to not say what he said. They're not a very good team compared to us, to the Mackhams. I mean, can you have a word with him? I know he's locked up in your basement right now somewhere. Can you have a word with him to not say stupid things like that? Because it doesn't help the cause, man. Because they obliterated us in minutes. So
they didn't obliterate us in minutes at all.
They did?
I think he is perfectly entitled to come out and say that. And what he's doing there...
No, not really, actually.
What he's doing there is he is self-criticizing because he's saying they haven't got as good a team as us. We should have done better.
It's poorly worded.
The way you find ways to make it for some, I know it's your coping mechanism because you're
what
destroyed.
You call intellect, son. Get some.
I know your coping mechanism. You're destroyed right now. You can't cope. You're just trying to find ways, right? But I'm sure you'll find a positive thing about Joseph Stalin. But at this point, it's incredible. But come on, man. Somebody has to talk to him and say, "Look, wake up, brother. It ain't the time. It's not the time. Somebody, they work for the club, by the way. These people are recording them. They should say, "Look, Gordon, you know, remember what the fans are watching this because it's not the time." Because all the Mackhams taking the pee out of all Newcastle United fans, rightly so to a certain extent. But we shouldn't add into it, right? What do you guys think? I mean, come on, man. You're going to talk about the Mackhams not being a good team when they literally turn us over at our own turf.
If you, as a player, I think you just got to be humble and just say, okay, don't say much. Well done, Sunderland. We need to do a hell of a lot better than that. We were this, we were that.
Not even well done, Sunderland. Just
self-criticize.
We were the better team, basically.
Yeah,
we were a better team. We weren't good enough. We were this, we were that, and that's that. He doesn't need to be basically trying to. It sounds like trying to score kind of brownie points, maybe by saying, "Oh, they are this, they are that, they're rubbish," and maybe, like you say, when he's trying to be self-critical, as in saying, "Look, this is how bad we were on that day because Sunderland aren't great." But you know when you put it that way, that's going to come out really badly. It just comes across as a bit childish, really.
Of course. I mean, you know, you gotta put. I know when you're not bothered about this, but we gotta put up with Jimmy Patty here. This was the best derby ever. Cheers for the easy 6 points. Was Saudi Arabia? Come on, man. You see what I'm saying? You know, they're all over the place. These guys. They're like flies. Can't get rid of them.
We had a hard game on Wednesday against Barcelona. What do they call him? Jimmy Mackie or whatever your name is. We had a hard game against Barcelona. Just remind me, when was the last time you played Barcelona in the last 16?
Somebody tell Win we lost 7-2. Somebody let him know privately. Somebody let him know privately so he doesn't make himself look like this. 7-2, man.
You were the Carabag of the last 16, mate. It's an embarrassment.
Come on, man. Look, I'm just saying, some of these players, and all of the players, they bottled it last night. 8-2. Look, they bottled it.
One goal better than what Barcelona did to us. Come on, man. No,
in one game.
But look, that game as well.
Let's talk about these players. So they bottled it. They, you know, because you listen, you're gonna lose derbies. It's gonna happen. It doesn't have to be the way we did it. But they bottle it after. They don't get it, man. They don't get it. Have you seen Dan Burns speak at all? Have you heard Dan Burns speak at all about the derby? Have you heard him? No, because he knows what it takes and what it's about. All these players speaking about. I don't even know where Sean Nee is. He's from. Where's Sean Nee from? Ireland. Where's he
from? Wolverhampton.
Oh, so you know what I mean? Like, no, that's Murphy. He's from Ireland, isn't it? So look, regardless, like they don't get it, man. They don't get it. And you got this last 20-year-old, I think, daughter of what's his name, Tyndall, coming out. Read the room.
Wall's End Boys Club, Sean Neave, so he should get it.
Oh, Sean Neave, what should different? Why is he? Well, he might be a Mackham then. Why is he liking the Mackham Post? Great performance. It makes no sense. Tim, help me out, man. Listen, I'm just a dumb American. I ain't got a clue. But you're supposed to be from there. Help me out, because I can't talk to Win because he's destroyed. I mean, what's going on with these players? They don't get it. They do not get it, man.
Yeah, I was just shaking my head. I mean, when I heard about Wissa, I was thinking like, you know, what a plonker. But when I heard about Sean Neave, I was like, why is Sean Neave out of all the players who was like a young Geordie? Why is he doing that? Like, is that somebody trying to manage his account and pressing the wrong thing, or has he actually done that? Like, it's amateur stuff to, like, PR wise. So yeah, I just. Somebody should be saying this, Sean Neave, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? You need to, well, first of all, do you grasp what's happened? And second of all, in the future, you need to read the room. Thank you very much.
They've been set bad examples by senior players like Anthony Gordon sending love hearts and images of hugging each other to Alexander Isak. You know, and that guy's been championed by the manager. So love it. It's all very toxic.
That is really good.
I'm done. Get rid of a lot of them.
Because, and Win was defending that, because they're just read the room, man. Isak did everything he did to us, and all of a sudden Gordon and Botman liking the post, the aftermath. It's read the room, man. What's the matter with you? And by the way, speaking of Botman, he's knackered once again. I mean,
we are knackered.
He's going on surgery for a facial fracture or whatever. And in Newcastle United Football Club, he's going to be back, but at the end of the season. So basically, he's not going to be back. It's just irrelevant when we play the last 2 games or something. You know what I mean? It's just again, they say he's not expected to be signed up for an extended period and hopes to be available again during the closing weeks of the season. Well, that's extended period. I mean, that's an extended period.
He don't want to be here, man. He don't want to be here. Let's be real.
Hey, man. Nobody knows how to run social PR. They don't have a PR assistant in there because literally they're bottling every single part of it.
It's an amateur operation back there. We know this already. But
the social media team too?
Everybody.
Come on, man.
Everyone.
Oh my God.
See that there, lad? See that there, lad? Yeah.
Hey, put it up, Win. Hey, Win, you put it up.
Manager. Get rid of him.
Win, put it up, man.
Jefferson, get rid of the lot.
Oh, you're not gonna show it because I show it, man. Don't worry.
It's already been up, man. I showed it.
No, you don't. It wasn't. Now it is. I agree with Jefferson. Get rid of the lot. Get rid of it. Mighty Win included because, man, I swear, man, you and Jimmy Patty, I don't know. They're going to the party after this because it's unbelievable. I don't. I listen. To me, the first Mackem game was the end of it. I just can't understand how we crumbled. Somebody, let's talk about that. How about that? How did we crumble?
Because
like
we
that?
did this all season. We've done it all season. Is anybody surprised? Yeah. Unless we go 3 goals up, yeah, we know what's going to happen. Look how many points we've given away. 22 points we've lost from winning positions? We have a good first 26, half an hour to 45
in the last 15.
We are shocking. We know we're a one-half team. We are a one-half team. Do you know what it is? Because all we do is run. All we do is run and be physical. That's all we know how to do. We don't have to control games. Yeah, we don't have to take the sting out of games. We've got one gear and that's it, 100 miles an hour. And when you let go and fatigue kicks in, this is what happens. Teams just wait and pick their moments and pick us off, and we've got nothing to offer after that. We're not a second half team. It's 45 minutes on bust. That's it. So I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
That's incredible, man.
I
think that's incredible.
Yeah, you've got a very valid point.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think that's when you say about like just running around and not controlling the game. I think that's totally true. Just first of all, got a super chat there. Do you want to get that one?
Yeah, Dark Side of the Moon there. Not Hall though. He's class. Well, he wasn't particularly. Go on.
Sorry, Hall did some brilliant things first half, and look, obviously in isolation, we need to fight tooth and nail to keep him. But just purely in that goal, the last goal,
exactly, where Jefferson was blaming Byrne.
Why can't you stop that cross? I'm not absolving Byrne of blame or Tino of blame, but in terms of Lewis Hall for that move, was it fatigue? Maybe it is, but like, stop that cross. I just can't believe how sloppy that was. But
and the move started with yet another misplaced pass from Ramsey.
Yeah, Joe Willock. I know Joe Willock. It was just terrible pass.
He's gonna blame Ramsey. It was at the end was Joe Willock, man.
It was Willock.
It was Willock, bro. Ramsey was he? Oh yeah, he was.
The first goal.
Willock gave it away for the winner. Willock gave it away for the winner when he tried to put it across the pitch.
Yeah, exactly. Did I say Ramsey?
No, Win said Ramsey.
No,
okay. Yeah, no, Win is the knackered one. Don't worry, man.
But yeah, I just think like we don't control the games, like you say, D-Man, and I mean that's where it could have helped to put Voldemort up front, like you say, just to try and get some control up in the final third and play the ball around in the final third instead of playing it over the top or in behind. I think Gordon is maybe makeshift, but a viable option in some games where he runs in behind. But in that game, we needed to move Voldemort, in my opinion, further ahead to try and do something different up top to gain more control. I think, again, in terms of looking to solutions, Iriola plays a style where he plays forward direct passes into the final third where the press is already set with clusters on the wings. And when Bournemouth don't win that first ball, which isn't always the design, they are set to win the second ball in the final third. Then they can go from there. And they've actually bypassed the opposition's press, by the way, when they do that, because they've bypassed the midfield. So what I'm saying, it's D-Man's point, is that it's playing clever. It's not using all the energy to get from A to B. You are set as a team to play in the final third and being direct. So it's really clever what he does. That's not only the thing he does. He's very flexible with his tactics, and he plays with a number 6. And again, to D-Man's point in terms of chasing the game, running around, we don't have a number 6 who holds that midfield together, who looks behind him to see defensively how he can put fires out. We needed that. We've needed that in so many games this season, just like yesterday, where we have a player who wants to do that role, like the number 6 for Bournemouth, whose name escapes us, Tyler Adams. Iriola wants that. He brings that number 6 where, yes, he's attacking, but if we lose the ball, he compensates for that as best as possible while still being an attacking team.
You know what, Tim? If Eddie had been sacked when he should have been sacked weeks and weeks and weeks ago, I would have been with you to say, you know what, let's be patient, go with the Iriola, because our football is awful. Our football is EFL level football, maybe even worse, real talk, because all we do is run. It's athletics. We don't actually pass the football. But anyway, I think the decline has got so bad, we don't have time for an intermediate manager like Iriola. We need a proven winner. And in order to avoid the repeat of the same cycle we've got with Eddie, we've got an experienced manager who's used to managing European games midweek. And that's why you have to look at a Hoeneß, you have to look at a Farioli, someone who's actually experienced Inzaghi, someone who's experienced managing in Europe. Otherwise, we're going to get the same cycle where it's, they're learning, give them time. I think the regression is so bad. Our PR's taking a hit. This summer's going to be so difficult. We ain't got time for sort of a gradual manager.
Well, I get that. I get what you're saying, Jefferson, just quickly. I get what you're saying, right? What I would say to that is, I would not be surprised in 2 years' time, Iriola is managing in Europe and coping perfectly fine. And we're sitting here saying we had the chance to get him, and we blew it.
I think he'll do fine in La Liga because he'll be more adaptable to La Liga, and the culture of Bilbao is a good culture, and he'll probably get a bit more time there because he is Basque as well. But I just think in the Premier League,
that's why he'll go to Bilbao.
When you're in the Premier League, though, it's a different beast, and it's a results business. The other thing as well about Iriola, if you notice at Bournemouth, the recruitment's been spot on, and they've got a proper system with the director of football. Eddie's had control over all the transfers. We're in absolute shambles. Yeah, it's true. Look at who they've been able to.
But it's true. I mean,
well, that's the thing. He wants to play youth. He's happy to play the 19-year-old Ryan, who's been brilliant for them. So I would say
Eddie apparently refused after Steve Nixon worked on that signing for the best part of a year. Apparently, he seems to think, Ilanga's good enough and Murphy's still world class or whatever. This guy's a joke. He just needs to go, man. He's well past his sell-by date. I've got no reservations now, guys. I'm so sorry, man, but the time's just too much now.
But when, I know you're trying to take a make out of Jefferson, but at this point, you can't deny that he's right on many things he's saying. So
in terms of criticism of Eddie, he's absolutely spot on in loads of ways. In loads of ways that I've criticised Eddie, the same.
No. You have not been criticizing Eddie Howe like
I
Jefferson.
have criticised Eddie's in-game management, team selection, substitutions, constantly. Pre-match, post-match, after-match, reactions.
I guess the only difference would be that you're willing to suffer forever.
The only difference is
you're willing to suffer forever, and other people want what's best for the.
Finally,
no. The difference is you're willing to suffer forever, and other fans want the club to progress.
I'm not willing to suffer forever.
That's the other.
Yours is 50 years, right? You supported the club. Is it 50 years?
That's what he said. We don't know.
I've been going
63.
We don't know. Hey, we haven't corroborated that. We haven't corroborated that, by the way.
And I admire that. 63 is a lifetime. Maybe even 2 for some, right? And I mean that in a respectful way.
Well, you don't have to take the make out either.
2 or 4 people should be the most tired. Because 31 years for me, and I'm freaking
Knackered.
tired,
You've
mate.
got no
I've done-
idea
I've done
what
half
I've
the
watched
time.
in 63
That's what I'm
years.
saying. I've done half the time you've done, and I'm fed up, mate. So how are you not feeling like
Exactly.
this? How are you not feeling like this?
You haven't seen. You call this dross. You haven't seen half the dross.
Well, we can't go on about that, man.
Stefan Givosh.
Oh, God.
Marcelino. Yeah, we've had a few that have run
No.
close.
I'm going
Diego
back to
Gavilan.
I'm
Who
going
else?
back to
Who else has
Graham
been
Oates
rubbish?
and Pat Hurd.
No, but we can't keep going that because no. The thing about Win, we can't. You don't have to go back that far, Win, because Jordy then is putting me in check. You don't have to go back that far. All you got to do is just go back a couple of weeks ago when you said this.
I'm Eddie Howe now.
And now you're gonna be. We got you on record. You're on record saying
that was,
you know.
When did I say it?
We are not.
After the Man United game.
And
when
you
it
kept
looked
extending
as
the
though-
deadline. You kept moving the deadline, man.
When it
Come
looked
on,
as though we
man.
couldn't get within 6 points of Champions League after the Christmas fixtures, what happened? We won the next 2 games, other results went our way, and we were within 6 points.
No,
What about now?
our results
What
went
about
up.
now? What about
D-Man, help me out,
Come on, man.
Where are we now in terms of Champions League football? Where are
And
we
the
now?
same can happen again.
No, it can't.
No,
Look at
man.
Win. Look at the remaining fixtures. How many games do you think we're going to win to the end of the season? Because then who
For
we
me,
got to play?
for me to be happy, we've virtually got to win them all.
Right. And
Well,
we're not
there
gonna
you
do
go.
that,
So
are we?
that how
We're not going to
realistic
do
is
that,
that,
are we?
man?
Well,
We are not
let's-
going to do that.
Let's see what happens.
No, we are not.
Come
Listen,
on,
listen,
Win.
Listen,
Done.
I'll give you $1,000. If we do that, I'll give you $1,000. Because we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. Yeah, you and I both know it's not going to happen. So why don't you just cut your losses
But-
now and say he's got to go?
I swear. I mean, he
I don't
says
think he's gotta
things,
go
you
yet.
know. That.
You said he's got to win every game till the end of the season. He's not going to do that, Win.
That's
He's not.
assuming that all the other teams around us win all their games, etc., etc.
Win.
They don't need to win. They don't,
Win.
That's the thing. They don't need to. They don't need to.
Let me tell you something. Win. This era of Newcastle United is on life support. On life support, there's no brain
I
activity.
agree.
There's no brain activity. When there's no brain activity, that's it, man. You can sit there all you want, but it ain't going to become better. To the point, this is Newcastle upon Tyne today. Somebody's house has the Toon flag at half mast. Half mast. I mean, when that is the case, when
We are knackered.
it is beyond repair, man. This is somebody's house in the Toon. You see the black and white flag. It can be a Macam. Trust me. You're not going to put a black and white. It is a half mast. There's no point. There is no point, man.
Wonderful sentiment.
In mourning.
It is. That's it. We are in mourning right now, ladies and gents. And right now, you know, there's a moment when you're in mourning when you start a couple of giggles, a couple of laughs here and there, because you can't just cry all, every single day. But the reality hits when all of us go in our separate ways, where Mighty Win wants to go to the Thai Girls Club, and then he's gonna be knackered because it's gonna hit him. It's gonna hit all of us that this is it. We are done. You know what I'm saying? And look, maybe the next step is just coming to the realization that that's it. We just gotta say our goodbyes.
I think Eddie will know before we know. There you go.
Well, why do we have to wait for him to bring this valor out of somewhere and just make a decision? That's not you. And I never have called for him to resign, just like I wouldn't call for anybody to resign anywhere, because why would they? It's their money. We should have
our new member in the chat.
We should have
saying 4 years ago we were about to be relegated.
Hey, put the super chat up, man. Hold on, put the super chat up.
I put it up.
It's not there, man. Do you not see it? Give people their respect, man. Go on.
I put it up. I don't know what you're watching, but you're not watching the screen. 4 years ago, we were about to be relegated. Now we're entitled to Champions League every year. Give our.
No, we just get better than this.
Yeah.
You can't. The situation that we're in is dire. Yeah?
So what I'm saying to you is,
no, hold on. We can appreciate what Eddie's done, saving us from relegation, the 2 cup finals, the trophy, the Champions League football twice in 4 years. That's all good and well, yeah. But if he's not going to improve on it, yeah, or be sustained or be consistent with it, yeah, 12th is not acceptable. 12th is not acceptable.
Absolutely, 12th
getting
is not
slapped
acceptable.
by Barcelona 7-2 is not acceptable. I don't care who you are. Yeah, getting slapped like that and embarrassed in front of millions is not acceptable. Losing 2 derbies is not acceptable. So you can appreciate the
The way
past,
we did it.
but you got. When are you going to start looking forward? When does enough become enough?
What I'm saying is, so let's just assume he gets Champions League football this season. He's still sack him.
Win. Let's not assume it because it's not happening. It's not happening. It's not happening. Stop it. It's not happening. It's not. It's not.
What I'm saying is, if it happens, what do you say?
Well, it's not going to happen, so I won't say anything.
But if it does happen, what are you saying?
But it's not going to happen, Win.
But what are you going to say if it does happen?
Congratulations. Yeah? Congratulations.
Win.
That's it.
But congratulations and bye-bye?
Yes.
Should be
well,
bye right now.
Because
Bye
like
now.
I said, it will be papering over the cracks. It will be papering over the cracks. No.
There
do you know why?
is where you and I differ.
I hear it, but
Win.
do you trust us to invest that money wisely again? Considering our history, who we bought this summer, yeah, we couldn't attract players. We could not attract players with Champions League football in the
Summer we
first
ever had, apparently. The best summer we ever had.
We couldn't attract high quality players in the summer with Champions League football anyway. Yeah,
because we went too late with too little. Because the
we went too late. We bidded for the likes of Pedro and them lot ages ago, early on in the market.
Before we had the money in the bank from Isaac, because Isaac
so
was
why did we bid
nowhere.
For them? Why did we bid for those players before they used that money anyway?
To play
we
with
money,
Isaac.
Win. We didn't spend for 3 windows, so we had the money.
No, we didn't spend for 3 windows because we didn't have the money.
And why didn't we
only had the money last season because we hadn't spent for 3 windows.
Why didn't we sell Gordon? We sold Anderson, who's proven to be a generational talent, but we kept Gordon.
And Anderson would not have got a game.
Why? Why is that? Because our rubbish manager doesn't know how to use technical players. That's why.
Because Anderson's not a technical player.
Well, he is. Are you talking? Oh my God! This is.
Tell Thomas Tuchel that then. Tell Thomas Tuchel that.
We are not. Hold on.
Anderson is a J7.
He's a
I beg you.
He's a what? Win. No, don't do that. Don't do that.
The Jordy
Super
Messi.
chat. So first of all, let's do this. First of all, Jordy, Dan, we're not going to debate with you no more. We just want to have some of that stuff you're on. Cause we want to have if you're going to have a good time, don't do it alone and give it to us too. Because I mean, at this point, you're just talking at it. You know what? And I mean, Ads K is saying
I'm asking the question right now.
Thank you.
If Eddie gets
Hold
us
on.
champion,
the super chat is more important than you. So Ads K is giving super chat. Win is living in Cloud Cuckoo Land. Thank you very much, Ad. And Animal Lecter once again. Get in. Shout out to Animal Lecter because he's killing it right now. He's killing it right now, ladies and gents. He said, sorry.
He's come when the 90s mags are in turn.
Forget sacking Eddie. It's Win needs sacking. Oh, man. Thank you, Animal Lecter. I appreciate it, man.
It's just who we are, mate. It's just who we are.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable, man. I don't understand. Win, let me give you a little bit of perspective, right? Not that you cared anyway, because regardless, you'll never come to the realization, to your common sense. We have, out of the last 7 games, lost 4 of those games, drew 1, and only won 2 of those. But we lost 4, the majority. We drew 1 against Barcelona the first leg, and we bottled that one, by the way, because we let them get in the game or score a goal. And the way we've lost those games too, like it's just beyond belief. You see what I'm saying? So none of that helps you. None of that you put down to the manager. None of those bad games, bad performances.
I put a lot of it down to the manager.
And so I'm saying it's. So what do you do?
Criticize everything, but you still want him to stay on. This is what I don't understand. Because he's not getting Champions League football. He's not.
I'm saying, and this is what I think. That's what you're asking for. What I think. I think Eddie has earned the right to be given till the end of the season to do yet again what he's done.
What right?
In previous season.
What right, Win? What right? How long does credit go for? because he flunked the
Well,
24 season.
Hey, listen,
it goes
I don't know
further
about the.
for me than it does for you.
I don't know about the U.S. I don't know about the U.K., but in the U.S., we don't get this much credit in the bank. When they're talking about.
We don't have a winning mentality. We've got a minnow mentality. That's the problem.
Now hold on though.
It's 12 months since we won our first trophy in 70 years.
So do you think if we were Man City or Chelsea...
So he gets a bus for that.
Were you on the streets in Newcastle 12 months ago?
I wish I was. Unfortunately, I wasn't.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
there you go.
National Rail will charge like 9,500 quid when stuff like that goes on. But anyway,
exactly.
My point is this: is that we aspire to be a top club. Am I correct here? We've got ambition. Our CEO,
Absolutely.
2030,
right,
2030, remember?
Our CEO wants us to win the league. So, do you think if Eddie Howe had this run of form for any of those said top clubs, would he still be in a job? Would he be given time?
Well, no, because they have.
Right. Well, no, that's what we need to know.
Because
so it's either we've got ambition or we haven't got ambition, Wim. What's it going to be?
They have their expectations, quite rightly, are higher than ours.
After spending 250 million this summer.
Because of where they are. Spending 250
So where were we? Where were we? We qualified for the Champions League. We won a domestic trophy.
250 million.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
250 million on 5 players, only one of which...
That was a waste of money, wasn't it?
Only one of which was actually number one choice.
Right, so listen. Go on, answer that quickly. When?
Who's that?
Who's that?
What?
Who's the number one choice?
I'm saying we spent £250 million because we were being held to ransom because everybody knew then we had money in the bank. The money that we would have had in the bank if we'd sold Isaac at the very start would have been more than enough to pay the inflated wages which we would have had to pay to get Pedro and Mbuemo.
So why didn't we sell a key player?
Hold on. Win.
Sell a key player.
Win. Who scouted Elanga for 2 years and made a bid in January before we bought him?
I'm saying Elanga is the only first choice. But we also
what about Malik Chow?
I'm telling you now, we would have had Malik Chow is still a work in progress for me.
He's our best siding. He's our best siding currently.
I tell you what, he's responsible for an awful lot of goals.
No,
he's not getting rotated. Yesterday was the first time he'd been rotated. He played how many? 39 games in a row or something like that.
44.
I guess Eddie still hasn't learned from 23-24 season then, has he?
I think
because
same old thing.
Because why?
Yeah.
Because why?
Because
we happened to get injuries all in the same position, so we had nobody to put in because the squad isn't big enough.
Spending 110 million on Premier League proven rubbish, mate. What is the combined goal outcome for Vissa and Elanga? 6 goals?
This has been injured for the majority of the season.
6 goals? That's tough luck. 6 goals?
He's had enough time now.
Elanga has been a major failure.
There's
no
echoes
doubt about it.
Well, but he did at Bournemouth. He bought Lys Mousset and Dominic Solanke. It's just that the scales are bigger because he's at a bigger club with more resources. He makes exactly the same mistake.
Jordan Ibe, remember Jordan Ibe?
Jordan Ibe, time to go.
I would have Solanke tomorrow.
No, of course he'll come now that he get relegated. W Spence says, think of a super chat, says Man City and Barca wages $500K a week. We have max 160, but we're not trying to win the Champions League or the Premier League. We're trying to just be in Europe.
Oh yes,
and we can't even do that. Eventually we are, yeah, of course. That's the trajectory. You don't have to make fun of fans that have standards or that have big dreams. You don't have to, just because you think because your life as a fan is knackered.
I actually pity their expectations, given the situation financially.
I have what expected financial? Are you kidding me, man? You spent 250 million pounds, man. Get out of here with the financial restrictions, man. We
Apparently
already
we're
talked
still
about
going to
this.
spend
£250
it money
million
anyway.
and we're lost.
And we got-
the
and we
best
got-
striker
and-
in the league.
Well, he's not looking like it over there at Liverpool. How many goals he got at Liverpool right now? All right, then.
He's
So,
been injured the whole time.
all right. Then, well, we don't know if he's the greatest
He's yet
striker in the
another
world. We
whistle.
don't know that. We don't know. Well, we
Thing
both
is, right,
whistle.
last
so-
summer- last summer
Isaac is
win.
Liverpool's whistle.
Hey,
Wait,
boys,
wait,
I've got to shoot off
wait,
anyway.
last summer.
Yeah?
Yeah, but
Last
seriously,
summer.
man,
I'll
take
catch you
care.
later.
Hey, hey, man.
Right, last
Go on,
summer,
quickly.
I've got sympathy for Eddie Howe. I've got sympathy because it was a mess in the boardroom. At the same time, but the question is that Sunderland bought their striker who played against us yesterday, who was very good, very good. Could we do with him? That's the first question. The second question is, he cost 15 million. Was he attainable for us? Even if it's a stopgap, was he attainable for us in the summer instead of what we got?
Tim,
And that's where we need to kind of look.
In
Tim, I
the
gotta come back
summer,
to you,
we
man.
bought
Hold
whistle.
on. Tim, I got to come back to you, mate. Where's this sympathy for Eddie coming from when he was the one that made a power grab? It's his
We
fault.
don't know
There
all
was
that,
no.
man.
Oh,
We
come
don't know all
on,
that,
man.
Jefferson.
So
This
where's
story
Ashworth?
about-
Where's Ashworth? We have to
look.
get out of this village
Win.
mentality. It's everybody else's fault but Eddie. How's Ashworth run for the
Jefferson,
hills?
this
Well, that's
is-
not what
then
Tim is saying, though.
And
nuances
suddenly,
to it.
suddenly
It's not
Mitchell's
black
the
and white.
bad
I'm
guy.
not-
Well,
It's
listen,
a
Hold on,
sort
Tim-
of
The
nuances
Tim-
to it.
common denominator is Eddie. That's
Well,
the
hold on,
common
hold on.
denominator.
I
But
know he
Tim
wants-
said
I know
he wants him
final
going.
say.
But he's talking about
He
the
wants him going.
boardroom, but Eddie clearly was part of ousting the director of football. Yeah.
Look, Eddie wants final say. Okay, that's what I know. That's established. He wants final say in terms of power grab, in terms of pushing people out. There's nuances to that. Now, Wins thinks he went upstairs and demanded X, Y, and Z. I don't believe that at all.
that has been categorically poo-pooed now by Luca.
By one journalist, Luke Edwards.
Oh my
It's
days.
been denied. It's been denied by one journalist, Luke Edwards, who I spoke to. That's it. One journalist. So many journalists have different information. We can't say, we can't really. That's not enough. If all of them came out and said the same thing, maybe I'd believe it.
No.
Although now,
I do still believe it happened. Absolutely.
Guys, we scored an own goal. We scored
Anyway,
an own
hold on.
goal. We had a director of football who scouted Virgil van Dijk, Sadio Mane, Young Son, and we told him he wasn't welcome at our club. What are we doing? And then the manager signs a bunch of boo-boos, and no one's like, man, maybe we made a mistake here. Maybe we made a mistake.
And we had a transfer.
maybe we did. That's a fair question.
And we had a transfer system that was unfit for purpose that signed Bruno, Botman.
We keep going to the past
And
once
who
again,
made those
man.
signings? Who made those signings? Steve Nixon, right? Who for some reason we couldn't sign Rayan because
Anyway,
Eddie didn't want
hold
him.
on.
It's in the middle. It's in the middle. You know what I mean?
Hold on. I want Tim to finish his point. Now, we got last 14 minutes left on the show. We need to talk about what the actual board is thinking, and the Daily Mail is coming out with information about that. But finish your point, Tim.
Just that. Yes, Eddie Howe wants final say. Yes, Eddie Howe would have been getting miffed with probably Paul Mitchell trying to have final say himself, potentially. Yes, they didn't get on. There was a massive clash there. The stories of Paul Mitchell, I'm going to say, annoying other clubs and other clubs' executives, saying we're not going to deal with Newcastle because he is a you-know-what. That's not conducive to doing transfer business in the summer. So Paul Mitchell is not going to be absolved of total blame. All I'm saying is that there's a middle ground. And I've got sympathy for Eddie Howe when he was thrust into a summer where even though he wants final say, he was still left with no executive, no CEO, and no DOF. Now, that doesn't mean I say he's blameless because he wanted Alanga, he wanted Wissa. And what I'm saying is that Eddie Howe and the scouting team, despite the difficult situation they were in the summer, could have identified other players and broadened their horizons to get the likes of that Sunderland striker who, while is not world class, for 15 million can certainly provide you something up front and a lot better than what we've got this season.
Yeah, shout out to my. We got to go to the subject, but thank you to Ben from the Noise, my friend Ben. Good video, by the way, on that.
Brilliant
the last
video.
one. So shout out and check out the Noise football there, and now he's come to the he's following his. Now Ben is following his mate, the American Mag, coming into the realization that we've seen this coming a long time ago. But listen, we fans, for what it's worth, we can come on here and provide the platform for everybody to have their say. Uncensored opinions here on NUFC Talk TV. However, we are.
Can I just say, I said in the forum, Ben, you absolutely brilliantly said my entire feelings, except for the headline. I was wrong because I'm still keeping me powder dry to the end of the season.
Because Ben is a man. He's a proper man. He says, you know what, I made a mistake, and I was knackered, and now he's not. You win. We shall not speak about you any longer.
We have got seven
on
the road to redemption.
Oh,
okay. Now listen, as I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted. Fans, we can have our say, of course. However, the ones that make a decision are going to be the board. What is the board thinking, according to Craig Hope, who some people are not keen on as of this season in particular, that the new executive team certainly would share the view that Howe will get support from Chief Executive David Hopkinson, Sporting Director Ross Wilson, and Performance Director James Bonds. I don't know what James Bonds got to do with any decision making. He's supposed to keep the guys fit. That's it. But maybe he's got some secret job. I mean, I don't understand this. You know, the guy that makes them run around and stay healthy is making a decision.
To be fair,
it makes no sense. Everything he is told, Craig Hope, is that they, with Howe, remain aligned and united. That they do not, the St. James's Park hierarchy and the manager himself do not know is the opinion of the club's Saudi ownership. I mean, Saudi ownership right now got probably bigger to fry over there in the Middle East. They got a lot of businesses as well. They appointed these people maybe to run the club while they, go aside. We don't know what's going on. But at the end of the day, it doesn't seem like Eddie Howe is in any doubt whatsoever. Thank you very much. What was the super chat? Last one.
That's kids in keep win jailed for any nonsense.
Yeah, there you go. First of all, I didn't even read Ben's comment there. So there are good managers out there available. De Zerbi, Maresca. If we wait until the summer when Chelsea, Spurs, and potentially Man U and Liverpool all sack their managers, these guys won't be there. Kind of to what Tim was saying about Iriola. So anyway, what do you guys make of it then? Because, I mean, we can talk. We've been talking common sense, me, Dima, and Jefferson, and Tim. But it's pointless because they not, and I agree that I believe that's the truth. I don't think they're going to do anything until maybe the end of the season, and they're maybe waiting. They may be waiting, which is sad to see. They may be waiting for Eddie Howe to just say, I'm done at the end of the season, so they can take the easy way out, not the second.
It could be a financial decision, isn't it?
That could be as well. It was Jefferson for manager, D-Man head coach. Win T-Lady. There you go.
Let's get that penny on you, lads.
There you go. So, I mean, what do you think, lads? I mean, Tim, you were kind of, you were talking about the end of the season, you would get Iriola, blah, blah, blah. But so that means that you're probably aligned with that thought process. That
if Iriola wants to come now, I think, I'd probably do it now. I think that's, for me, he's the man. So if he wants to come now,
he's not going to leave Bournemouth now when that's
exactly. I don't think he will. So if he's willing to, I think he would come in the summer. His contract expires. So if we can get ahead of a Bilbao, which I appreciate is a difficulty potentially with him being from the Basque region, but if we can, then I would absolutely go hell for leather to convince him to come. I think, barring Bilbao, I think he'd walk in Newcastle. Certainly.
But one thing I would say about that, by the way, that, obviously the Basque passion is very similar to Geordie passion.
It's another tick. Exactly, it's another box tick.
He will definitely get.
He would get Newcastle, no doubt about it.
I think Eddie gets the club.
Yeah, but on your point, Chris, I don't think Eddie Howe. I don't think he'll walk. I think he's humble enough to look at things and think if it's not working, I will go maybe. But I think he'll back himself. I think the only time he'll walk is if he senses the board are losing faith. So if the board aren't losing faith and they're kind of saying, no, you're still our man, I think he'd back himself and say, we'll crack on. We've got everything in place for the summer. we can really put things right. So it's up to the board to make what is probably an uncomfortable decision for them, and I understand that, but they do need to just really make that call and like I say, give that golden handshake, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, Jefferson, you're talking about they have no backbone to make this decision. I mean, we don't know. They might be thinking about it, but it's because it's easy also to make decisions when things are, still hot. It's supposed to just cool, calm, and collected because it's a massive decision, But
the thing is, Eddie's been teetering on the edge for quite some time, and he has this habit of picking up wins whenever he needs them, in combination with us being exceptionally patient. But I don't know how many lives you can have. I don't know if he was a cat in a former life. I don't know if he's a Freemason, but I've never seen anything like it, honestly.
Super there from Waza, win. Swap Eddie for Areola. There's a thing. By the way,
the Bournemouth exchange.
By the way, I do believe if you go get Areola and he doesn't have anything lined up for Bilbao, he would leave Bournemouth right now, I think. Because he knows that even if he puts Bournemouth in Europe, that's it. I mean, what is he going to do? Win the Premier League? No. It's just, he knows that he might take this opportunity if you go out there and get him right now. Chris N. Win has Eddie Howe Stockholm syndrome. Thank you for the $5 Canadian there, mate. Thank you very much, Chris N. Let's go with some star comments before we go, ladies and gents. What the people are saying, what the fans are saying. We need Christina on the late night show so she can read the messages. She did a marvelous job doing that. The Bevis, our players will be simply taken. There's nothing we can do to compete. The financial rules don't allow us to ever
get anywhere.
What?
I think
get
anywhere.
Thank you, man. Still bad dad. The cards have been dealt and the bet has been made. Eddie Howe lost that bet. He has to go at the end of the season, no matter what. I can't be in the stands singing his name again.
Oh, Sean,
man.
Oh, wow.
We are knackered.
I mean, that is something and a half, man.
NUFC Early Night News with Gary the Jordy Yum Yum and Drew Boaky.
Oh, what the heck happened there? I pressed the wrong buttons. I pressed the wrong button, folks. Sorry about that. I'm knackered as well, man. But there you go. But Sean, that is some unsettling comments there, man. Steve Waldo, win is old school. You get behind the team no matter what. But we all do. But, I mean, Win is not a special guy. He's just deluded. So, I mean, come on. Let's not, I don't know. Bevis, the signs were there before halftime that the Mackems might score. You have to question what the gaffer says to them at the interval, which I'm not going to buy that what does he tell them? Go lose the game now? No, I mean, you can't. He's not saying that, but maybe he's not saying anything. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's going on at halftime. It's just criminal, man.
It's a recurring theme, that's for sure.
And the thing about it is, we sit here, well, not me, but blame Voltemada for everything, blame the foe. We score goals every game. You know how hard it is to score a goal every game? We score them every game. Attacking is not the problem. Defending as a team, as a whole, that's the issue, in my opinion. It's not just one guy, by the way, because if you just get rid of that guy, the whole team just falls apart. Mentally, we're not there. So, I don't know. Gaza says, Win was in hibernation all day yesterday. He was. Chris Davis.
Oh, was it the match all day yesterday?
Well, if you were there longer than the players were after the game, then that's the main problem right there. Chris Davis, the signs were there before. Oh, yeah, we read that one. Sorry about that. Gaza, we read all this. Still by that, we have conceded 28 goals in the last quarter of a match. That is not good enough.
22 points from winning positions, isn't it?
27.
Is it 27?
It's 27 goals now, 85 minutes plus, and 22 points lost from losing position.
Win, you also said that people were overreacting to one bad game. Have you forgot the season full of bad games? Exactly. There you go.
Where I said I didn't say
real
that.
Talk, Becca. Real talk.
Win pleads the fifth, man. He shall not answer that question. Fabian Hunter, this is the squad Eddie built, and honestly, we were better with the squad he took over in the beginning.
Now that is the nonsense you have to put up with. Sorry,
we could all
Fabian.
do it to Maximan right now, couldn't we?
Well, how is that nonsense? We have a much way better squad than we did when he took over.
We got
And
fit
he's done a better.
athletes.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He's saying we had a better squad when he
Not
took
sure about
over.
footballers, but we got fit
Oh, is that what he
six-
said? Oh, I thought he said.
We've got 6 players in the England squad now, man.
Yeah, so.
But that's a happy clapping comment, and you're going against it, by the way. So
It's not a happy clap.
Well,
Jordan Henderson's in the England squad.
He's saying.
He's not saying much.
Fabian Hunter is saying that the squad Eddie has built now is worse than the squad when he took over.
They're good
It's
for GB
nonsense.
Athletics. They're good for GB Athletics.
Well, okay. Well, we're certainly we're underperforming with a better squad.
We are underperforming.
With a way better squad. So whose fault is that? Anyway, Connor, look at Sesko at Man U. He didn't score for 12 games, but they persevered, and now he's scoring quite a few. There you go. Yep. It's confidence, man. Listen, if your striker is lacking confidence and you stick him in midfield, I mean, it's just insane. Common sense, man. Jordan Gordon is a product.
Either.
Yeah, that's true. Gordon is a product of believing one's own hype when all it is hype. And by the way, he's called himself the best player on the Toon, that he's the one that gets blamed for everything. He understands it, he said, because I'm the best player now. So that's the delusion that's the little monster that Win has built. And unfortunately, he's getting, it's running away from him now. Irish Toon says, heard Botman is out. Walter Maida, new center back. Oh, hey,
love it.
Hey, he's played there, by the way, one game.
You can't have a centre back who can't win a header.
There you go.
What was his goal on his debut?
Tell that to Byrne, who can't head
What was
the
his
ball.
goal on his debut win?
That was his one header against Wolves.
He scored one against Arsenal as well, didn't he? Or Chelsea?
You do understand the headers are unusual, right? You do understand that, right? But anyway, Gavin Fuller, Iriola won't attract players any more than Eddie. Well, that's true. That's true as well, man. That's true as well.
Yeah, but he'd wide the net. But he look at Ryan. He signed Ryan. Look at him for Bournemouth. So he'd be open to blooding younger players. Would, in my opinion, would get a wider range profile of players to the door.
We need a winner. Because as much as I criticize Eddie, at least now he's won a cup. He's a winner. We need a winner that can actually coach elite players. That's what we need.
Look at Spurs. Jose.
All right, let's go quickly here. Jordy Dan, it might get worse yet. Could trickle down to the league even farther. I pray to God we don't, says Jordy Dan. Galaxy Rooster, Eddie can't take us any farther. Guys in UFC, I'm sick of hearing about the League Cup, man. There you go. Ooh, win this. There you go. And these are all Jordy's telling you, man. This is the sad part about it. Fabian Hunter, Brentford robbed us with Wissa. Just easily replace him with the next best striker they could find. Battle Axe. Look, Eddie can't sign big players. He's a no one man. Why don't you understand? He's a no one man. Why don't you understand? Bournemouth reject he is. That's a very tough. I mean, it's the 24 hours after the Macklem game, though. So you can't blame players. Our fans. RS says, give the bloke time to spend. People have short memory. Our squad was built around the rat.
Like the 250 million,
there you go. Last but not least, thank you to all the super chatters out there. Strasbourg Steve, thank you very much, mate. Waza, Adsk, Prosake for becoming or gifted memberships. They're going to Monkey, who just became a member there. Please renew your membership. It's £5 a month, and it helps us move forward as a YouTube channel. Waza, Boakies, and well, there you go. Well, thank you, Waza. Thank you, Ian Mackay as well. Thank you, mate. Thank you, Eddie there, having his comments out there. Ian once again. Waza, Beetle, Greg. Thank you very much, mate. Let me see here. Jordy Dan, Waza multiple times. Dark Side of the Moon. Thank you very much. Thank you massively to Animal Lecter, who has done an amazing job by us. Thank you, appreciate that, buddy. Thank you very much. And also, once again, there, Animal Lecter, thank you. W. Spence as well, appreciate that, mate. Was multiple times. And Chris N at the end, thank you very much, buddy. Thank you, one and all. And ladies and gents,
Dark Side of the Moon, Monkey Sputum.
Yeah. Thank you, one and all. And listen, super opinionated debates here on the Late Night Show. And what can we say? We shall be back again tomorrow. It's going to be a long 3 weeks with no games and a lot of crap talking. But, we shall figure it out, man. We shall figure it out.
Just don't invade Jefferson.
Ambition over excuses. Eddie out. Thank you.
Oh, man. There you go.
Pick up the mighty win.
Out now.
What was that, Tim?
Big up the mighty win.
Big up the mighty win. He's been
keep
back
the
there.
end up. We'll keep the end.
Hey, Win. Don't drop the soap, fella.
The Win has been bad. Listen, Win has been battered. He's been battered tonight, man.
Have you seen how often I'm in here? I rule the roost now, kid. You don't want to get yourself put in.
Hey.
You'll be walking around holding my pocket, son.
See you later, folks. Take care and highway the lads.
I'm Eddie out now.